Yeah, just hit it with
Cool.
And then it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna start automatically. So
Okay. Well, let's just wait a bit.
no, it's fine.
Can people? Oh no one can hear us, right? Because this scene doesn't have audio.
No, they can hear you. They can definitely hear you.
Oh really?
Yeah, they can hear everything you're saying, including the chipmunk sound. They
Can you
hear
imagine Bill Gates running Microsoft with chipmunk voice during office meetings?
Why do I have chipmunk?
David, just check if it's on stream.
It's on stream.
Okay, cool. So it's live, yeah.
So sorry, everyone, to the 2 people who are currently watching.
Yep, it's on.
What? It's actually streaming.
Yep, it's streaming.
Oh yeah.
Let me just check one more thing, Chris, if you don't mind.
What?
Just one more setting. Let me just check one more
How do I turn off chipmunk?
Yeah, hit the red.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm normal now.
You gotta keep it on, surely.
No.
Also, you want to move this whole thing back into the private screen as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. I knew that.
I thought I was gonna be there because of the coordination stuff, but it's fine because me and Dave will work out. Other side, left. There you go. And then just make it, yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to check is that the sound is all coming. Yes, perfect. All right.
Okay, so
We good.
importantly as well is open up Google Chrome and then open up YouTube on that side.
Okay.
Yeah, just move a tab or whatever.
Yeah, like just grab one of the tabs.
Sure.
Yeah, it's there.
Would you prefer it if it was just like an up and down thing?
Yeah, probably. But it's all right. Don't worry about it. I'll get used to it.
Up and down is easy. I can do it in like 4 seconds.
We can make it up and down.
And then you just do this, right?
Yeah.
No. Please help. Send help.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, cool.
All right, I'm gonna say them live right now.
Nice.
All right, Alistair's watching. Sure. So, are we ready to go? Can we change the screen to like actually showing us or whatever?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is just like the awkward screen we put on.
Fair.
Yeah, beforehand. So whenever you're ready.
Yep.
Okay.
So say when and I'll do the intro.
Sure, I will do. 1 second. David, can you just put your trousers on first?
Oh, whoa. Sorry about that. Whoa. Oh my goodness. That was
Right,
that was bad.
Okay, I'll switch to this. Wait, not that
Alright.
one. This one.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, there we
All right.
go.
3. Live in 3,
2,
1. Ladies and my voice. Ladies and okay. Hold up. Start again. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a special treat tonight, or this morning, in fact. We have, from straight down under, the survivor of the Emu Wars, the human computer, Rob Sentinel in the building. From the Ice Age, he who killed the dinosaurs. He's always lurking in the back of your fridge, blocking the entrance into the sweet candy. He's the one, the only, the coldest, with the mostest, the Iceman, Chris.
Nice.
And we have this guy over here called Sig.
What's your problem? What is your actual problem?
Anyway, yeah. So, kidding. We have the next patriarch of Abuja, the next priest of Africa, the next father of the entirety of the Pan-African movement. Spiritually, that is. Sigatrus, Signatius, Sig of Antioch, Sig.
Right. Not doing that.
Nothing but Sigma values.
Nothing but Sigma values. Gentlemen, we had to put this together because there's never been a time so far where we've had Rob in the UK. Rob's been in the UK now for the last 5-ish days?
Yeah, basically, let's just call it a week.
First time. Rob, how has your experience been so far?
Absolutely fantastic. It's good to be with Christian brothers and sisters. It's encouraging, edifying, even humbling.
Nice.
Just learned quite a bit. It's good to see a culture. My heart breaks. I mean, I'm not being racist here, but my heart breaks for basically the British culture, man. Like, it's interesting to see British culture, it's import of a multicultural context, but a Christian voice needs to be at the forefront, I think, more than ever. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely agree, Rob.
Thank you for calling the country good and trash at the same time. Man. We do definitely appreciate it.
Very well done.
Gentlemen, it is exceptionally early in the morning. We all want to go to bed. However, I just thought for the next hour or so, we could give a little overview of how the last week has gone, particularly how today went, and some of the matchups that we had today at the corner.
It's crazy.
So please take it away. Who wants to just give an overview of like sort of what they did in the week, what they found cool, and then we can just get straight into the meat and potatoes of it. How did today go?
I just want to start by saying about Speaker's Corner. Just it was amazing.
Oh God, yeah.
It was so good. We had everyone there. You had God Logic there. You had all of us guys there.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
Jay Smith there. You had Bob there. Literally everyone you could think of was there. You had Ali Dawa there. You had Yemeni there. You had all the Dawa guys there. Oh, so good. And it was so much debate, so much running from debate. It was beautiful. Absolutely loved every second of it.
It was definitely fun. I feel like no, genuinely, it was weird because I never got to really enjoy it. But you know, like seeing you guys just like in your prime, we saw Prime Rob, Sentinel Apologetics for the first time as well. Hey Rob, you want to give like some thoughts on your experience as well?
It's
like,
your first time on the court. Rob, after seeing those videos for years,
Yeah.
how was it to be there yourself?
Emu Wars.
Google it.
So I was taken aback by how everyone just gets straight into it. You know, in fact, in my stream, I was kind of joking, saying it feels like just the moment you walk into a gym, with not even like 2 minutes in, and you bang straight on the treadmill, bang straight on the rowing machine. You know, bang, 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 bang. Everyone's just laser focused and engaging, which is good. But then it seems like those who have an agenda don't want, like, just want to just spew, you know, word vomit and ideas.
I wonder who he's talking about.
And in that context, for example, I saw young Bob engaging, say, Ali Dawa near the end. This is just a perspective to share. It's interesting to see that if you don't have an agenda, you're actually, you know, you can just tell by just your body mannerisms, you're being genuine in the conversation versus those who just want to debate and argue the point. Case in point, my experience with Adnan and
Oh my goodness.
Adnan who?
yeah, Rashid.
The very man himself.
So
Just to add some context there, people, this is Rob's first time in the corner. But Rob is such a boogeyman in the online space that all the Dawagandists in the UK know him. So when I found Adnan with his Luffy straw hat walking around the entirety of the corner, my mind instantly goes to this image that Rob has, I think, on a thumbnail on his channel, where it's him surrounded by like 80 Dawagandists.
Yeah.
One thing, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to make the code longer. Trying to make the code longer.
So it's like Rob surrounded by like 80 Dawagandas, and like there's like one, it was one of Rob and Adnan and his crew. So I thought, hey, on a day like today, when we have so many Christians here, wouldn't this be great if we could possibly reverse things? Let's get Adnan Rashid surrounded by a bunch of Christians and have Rob there.
yeah.
Little did I know what Adnan had in store. So very briefly, before I got Rob to talk to Adnan, Adnan was talking with Big Drake. One of God Logic's do. Shout out to Big Drake, man. Shout out Big Drake. Shout Drake, we love you. Then I came in the conversation, and instantly Adnan begins to essentially set himself up as an authority by saying, I am a historian of the Crusades. So I asked him a simple question. Adnan, how many Crusades have there been? Simple question, right? If you're a historian of the world wars, you'd know how many there were in an instant, right? But for some reason, Adnan didn't want to actually talk to me about that. So he turned away. His cameraman attempted to attack me verbally and physically, and then he walked away from me completely. Anyway, I set him up with Rob because I recognized Rob was there and he was there. Then I introduced the two of them. They were in one location for a little bit. Then suddenly they moved to a whole different location.
Well, just quickly, initially, Adnan was very dismissive he seemed like he was tired. Maybe I actually passed remarks saying, "You're just chilling," and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just chilling." I don't know what triggered it. I don't know. I don't know. Like suddenly, he within what, not even a minute of me arriving and just hanging out. Suddenly, he just tugs on me. He's like, "Hey, come this way. Let's have a discussion."
Oh,
Wow.
And
so he invited you. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
So,
it was just
Okay.
one of those.
Interesting.
I thought I wasn't going to be talking to him. The way he was dismissive and very chill, like he was just very blasé.
yep. And Chris has experience talking to Adnan.
Oh yeah.
So this will be very real for Chris when I describe what I saw from my perspective. But this is a little bit different. But actually, no, it's actually very similar to what happened to you the first time. Adnan wouldn't speak to you alone. He needed some help on the side.
That's true.
So this time, I come back, and what I see is quite surprising. I see a different style of debate going on in the corner that you don't normally see. A debate on science. I see Adnan Rashid with a straw hat, and I see Zabor Ahmed with his receding hairline. Both wanting to simultaneously debate Rob in this way. Zabor talks for about 7 minutes. Right afterwards, Adnan talks for 5 minutes. Repeats about 80% of Zabor's talking points, which is actually kind of helpful, and then adds 20% of his own. And then Rob starts talking to respond to both of them, and about 5 words in, Adnan interrupts him.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
And that was a sort of continuous pattern that I saw. So what I started doing was, from the sideline, I started engaging in a bit of a yelling match with both Adnan and Zabor in an attempt.
And then the emus came to my rescue and
Exactly.
actually metamorphosized me into an emu in response
was
to
the
the
emu.
unusual and me raising my voice. Oh my goodness.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
So at one point, Zabor made a small error, and he was going to talk about Darwin, and Rob can talk more about this entire topic regarding how Darwin is a racist, according to them, right? And what Rob thinks about Darwin personally. But at one point, he was going to say the word Darwin, and because I was yelling at him, he ended up saying David instead.
Yeah.
I jumped on that.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the conversation, Zabor wasn't speaking much. So I like that. But
my question is, why was Sabor there? Like, I don't understand. Like, how did he come into the conversation room? Because obviously you were there the whole time. How did Sabor get in there?
Oh, Dave.
Oh, did they think you weren't a Christian or something?
Oh no,
Because the ball only
know
goes
Rob.
for like atheists, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, evolution.
anybody
No,
with
Zabor
Darwin.
recognized me because of my interactions with the Dava Wise
Channel.
type.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dawa Wise is its own little chaos as well. I mean, we had half of
And
Dawa
by
Wise.
the way, I did shake Hashem's hand. Near
Did
the
you?
end. Yeah, I finally caught him just walking
He's a good
randomly, and I was
sport.
like, "Hey, Hashem," and he's just looking at me, and I'm like,
You say Hashem.
"It's Rob."
Yeah, it's
said
funny. You
Hashem.
call him Hashem, but it's Hashim.
Hashem. Okay,
Yeah.
Hashem.
Like you did
Hey
hash
God,
things out.
that you?
Yeah. Hashem. The name. How are you doing? The name.
Oh man.
Say that in Chipmunk.
No.
Come on, man.
Hashem.
No, it doesn't work for you. It only works for his
The
man.
name.
Is it me? Hashem!
But Zabor came in because he heard the word Darwin somewhere in the air. So some stage you say the word Darwinism 3 times in the mirror, Zabor will show up. And then it seemed to be the case that Zabor and Adnan Rashid are of the mind that if you're white and academic, then that means you're basically racist.
Yeah, which is weird, by the way. Like, that's a mad
It's
claim.
a totally legitimate position to have.
Really?
If you are brain dead.
It's mad. Speaking of which, I like. So obviously, you were at the conference for the. You both gave talks. No, all 3 of you gave talks
Oh, okay.
at the conference this year as
We're,
well.
we're taking a small step back.
Yeah.
We'll come at that's
Context. Like here's the thing. So context chat, right? So we were chat. Yeah, we're on stream. Yeah. So chat context. We were all invited to a 3-day conference with as many Christians as possible from all different confessions of the faith. So Catholics were there, Orthodox Christians were there, many persecuted Christians were there, ex-Muslims were there, Protestants, whatever you name it, you would find it at this conference, all of which are Trinitarian believing. There was a 3-day conference from, I want to say, what, Thursday?
Yep.
Thursday till
Yeah, that's
Saturday. And all of these people, some of the best apologists you can think of, Inspiring Philosophy was there,
Yep.
Chris the Speaker's Corner was there, Bob was there, Jay
Oh,
Smith
thank
was
you.
there, David was there, and most importantly, Rob was there as well, doing his little Australian
Yes.
stuff. That was,
And the emus.
and the
Yes,
emu,
he was fighting the emus.
he was fighting the emus. However, you guys, all three, were given the opportunity to give a talk on whatever topic you so chose, whatever. So starting from David and working down to Rob, what did you talk about and how did you find it?
First things first, I would like to shout out to my Ustad Ibn Al-Alistair. Thank you, Ustad. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to actually have a talk.
Shout out to Ibn Alistair.
To do a talk. So, you know, Ibn Alistair is not here to chastise me. So let me be completely honest. He told me to do this talk about 6 months ago. And when he told me, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll find something to talk about. Now, as far as the timeline goes, and he'll definitely get me for this, I finally submitted my my topics for conversation about a month before the conference. And then I worked on the actual slides on Monday and on Thursday.
Yeah, that's the correct sound for you.
So-
That's the correct sound for you, yeah. Crickets, that's the correct sound.
And then I think he even texted me and told me to send him the actual presentations by the second. And I sent them the night before the actual presentation.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
Classic.
Anyway.
Classic David.
I had two main talks. The first one was around the Quranic reliance on the Bible. I went through about 5 instances. Originally, my plan was for 10, where the Quran heavily leans on the Bible for context. The story of David in the Quran is contextless. The story of the table coming from the sky in terms of Surah Al-Ma'idah is also contextless. And a few others as well are also contextless. Apart from if you actually refer to the Bible. So it would seem that for these stories that I talked about, for example, John the Baptist in the Quran versus in the Bible, there seems to be some kind of issue where the Quranic author is, in my personal opinion, leaning on biblical material to actually fill in the gaps in their story. And they're assuming that the audience is somewhat familiar with the stories, so they're summarizing them. It would be like, for example, me saying, hey, Rob, you know about that story with the people on the boat, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to tell you what that is.
Yeah.
It's sort of like intuitive.
It's a bit like when on the boat with the emus and the
Yes,
yeah.
yes, two of each kind, of course.
You
Two
mean
of each
Ron
time.
White got it correct?
What? What was that one? I had to say something, but I totally missed what that was.
You mean Ron White got it correct?
Ron White?
Ron White.
Ron White?
He, 24 chromosome blood of Jesus on the Adam skull. Also finding.
You need to dive into that one.
Wait, what?
But to keep my overview very fast,
I'm just that.
Sorry, I'm too tired for
All
this,
right.
Rob.
Yeah. Okay. No.
I barely remember my own name right now.
That is a flat earther is more correct than Ron White. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, fair enough.
that was my first talk.
It's a big joke.
That was my first talk. I thought it went well. And then my second talk happened. And this one, I still don't get it to this day. It was honestly just a lazy topic for me to pick because Chris told me that, when selecting topics, you can kind of like give like a few throwaway topics and then actually and I'm giving away the entire game here, and actually suggest one that you actually want to talk about. And so hopefully the one you want to talk about gets picked and the throwaway one doesn't get picked. In my case, they all got picked.
Yeah.
So the second one was simply titled something to the effect of common rebuttals that you can share with your Muslim neighbor or when they bring it up against Christianity or whatever. So the simple things like if you're trying to share the gospel with your Muslim neighbor, they're automatically going to attack the incarnation, the Trinity, atonement and salvation, Bible reliability, Bible authorship. Those will be the 5 main things they'll poke at instantly. But you have so many Bibles. The Bible's corrupt. Anyway, I didn't think that this was going to be interesting because, again, I was working on the slides the hour of. In fact, at one point, I think Alistair sat down next to me and looked over at my screen and said, hey, what are you doing? I said, working on the slides. He said, for what? The next talk? I was like, yes. And I had about 40 minutes remaining. And he gave me a look and told me that he better not hear complaints. Anyway, somehow this talk ended up being oversubscribed. I was quite surprised, actually. People were sitting out in the hallway, actually listening.
Where's
and
the clap noise, man? You got, yeah, you did well. You got that over. That's it.
Yeah,
That's good.
man. Yeah.
So
That's really good.
I started the whole thing by being humble and saying, I appreciate you all here, but I don't know why you're here. But
You had around 100 people there on your talk as
no,
well.
no, no, no.
Yeah, you had 100 people. Yeah.
About like maybe 20 or something, or maybe slightly more. But I think it was very, very good. A lot of very good discussion. Lots of talks around the Trinity, around the incarnation, how to explain it, how to I told them about my sword and shield technique. So I like to defend the faith, but then attack theirs afterwards. So I sort of showed them that as well. We ran over time by about 15 minutes, but I thought it was really, really good, and I will definitely put more effort into doing another one next time, if possible. So yeah, I think overall. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Well done, David.
Chris.
Cool.
Go
So yeah, I followed my own advice to David, and I was like, oh, I could just pick some throwaway topics that I'm not actually in that like
Concerned with.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what, it'll be great. I'll do the Islamic dilemma because David was not coming, right? So I thought, I've been working on this Islamic dilemma stuff. I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is perfect. You know, I'll be like really well set up for it. It's what I've been working on for the last few months. And no, it wasn't picked, so I didn't do that. So that was a bit awkward. But anyway, the other like 3 topics that I had just thrown to Alistair, they were all chosen, which was okay. So now I had to prepare for these 3 talks, which I did. You know, I wasn't as bad as David. I did actually get them done roughly on time. The first talk was Islamic scholars using like early Islamic scholars using our Bible, and that went really, really well. I was really happy with that. It was really cool stuff. These things were recorded, by the way, guys, so you'll actually get to see these eventually at some point when they come out, which is awesome, and hopefully they won't take too long.
Sheikh Alistair, you're on the clock.
Yeah, Ibn Alistair, you're on borrowed time, my friend. You're on borrowed time. The writing's on the wall.
And then, what was the next one I did? Oh, the next one I did was actually a positive case for why Islam is collapsing. I wanted to, it was just.
How's that positive?
No, as in like, I'm going to give you good reasons to think why Islam is collapsing.
Yeah, okay.
And I gave lots of good reasons. Like, I hope they were good. And people seem to like that.
Yeah.
And the last one was Islamic theological developments and how Islam has basically changed over time. And yeah, it went really, really well. It's really, really good. You know when the last one, one that you guys came in?
we were.
Yeah.
Did you see Bob say there wasn't enough space for people to come in? Did you see that?
Someone told me that Bob said that.
Yeah, so
and
basically, Bob came
ignored
in.
it.
Bob came in and he was like, "You're not," because someone grabbed a chair from another room,
Right.
And he was like, "You're not supposed to do that. You can't do that. It's a fire and risk hazard. You know, all that stuff." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine, it's fine." And then as soon as he left, you guys just like snuck in, and apparently, I can't remember who said it to me, but someone said they saw on my face that I was obviously thinking about whether to say anything, and I was just like, "Nah, that's fine. I just let him in."
So for context, myself and Sig just came in, saw that the room was full, and we just sort of dived to the floor.
Yeah,
and,
we just
and just sort of hung out on the floor.
It was a very good talk, though. He talked about the coins. He talked about so much about those kinds of things, and I found it really interesting as well. The fact that he sort of linked it with the way that Islam, even in its sociological theology, sort of develops into realizing that they can't just be like a religious tradition that's purely reactionary. They need to be a substantive state of their own, which takes change. But last but not least, I didn't get to see your talk. What was it about?
I did.
These are topics that were given to me. I was actually, even before this whole conference thing, I've been working on, in honor of the late Dr. Michael Heiser, working on what he dubbed the Deuteronomy 32 worldview, and how that relates to basically not just evangelism, but all the religions in relation to the biblical epic. And
Sorry about this. There's another drink on the other side because there's another monster. It's an open monster.
Monster.
Sorry about that, Rob.
That's an evil monster right there.
Open monster, I can't even. My voice is actually cooked, guys. But
So, basically, unfortunately, I couldn't give that talk.
Right.
And on top of that,
Yeah.
my laptop on my way on the flight just totally got cooked.
Oh,
Jesus.
You want to talk about that?
Nah.
You're still a bit sore over
It's
this.
just one of those.
Yeah, like you'll
So,
never
I'm
get
sort
to
of
know.
giving context as to why I didn't give that particular talk, basically.
Oh,
And it
man.
was like one of those last minute, like literally just hours before my second talk that I was making. Yeah, you guys, you guys made it work. It's not me. It's actually you guys that made it work.
No,
So,
we all know that like you have a lot to bring to the table. So
Yeah.
but yeah, the first workshop talk that I gave is in the context of Surah 19, Mary's encounter with Gabriel. I'm arguing that follows very closely and creepily with the Second Temple Watcher, stuff that the watchers and the women and the very the sexual encounters that transpire and I'm not making this stuff up. 19 verse 17 literally has Mary freaking out if she's going to get raped. And,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Ibn Kathir, actually says that in his stuff. See, it's like she thought that. And then this being has a, what seems to be a type of sexual act because, you have an anthropomorphic blowing into her genitalia and all this nonsense.
Oh.
So that was that topic, and then my second and last one was plagiarism of the Quran. In a nutshell, as you'll see in the speaker corner discussions, I have an argument. So this is my argument. Take the resumes of all the Bible characters from Adam to Jesus. Take the resumes of the same characters in the Quran. They do not match. Ergo, let's put the Bible aside for a moment. Are the Quran's resumes of these characters historical? No. Why? Because its depictions of these characters are only reflected in common era texts in the first 5 centuries, or in this case, to stick with J. Smith, AD. Like, I'm not against the AD rating. It's just that's what that's the standard in academia. But anyway. But that's the point. And Allah should know better. It's like Allah stuck in 7th century Arabia, and the only historical knowledge he's aware of is literally the first 5 centuries. Their depiction of what happened in the past. Like, yeah.
So you're saying, like, to make it clearer, that you're saying if we took Islam seriously and we looked at every single fact file of every single character that the Quran mentions, you're saying that it seems that Allah's knowledge only extends 500 years.
Yep.
You're not saying that it
in
extends,
a nutshell, yes.
It doesn't extend more than 500 years, give or take.
That's it.
So you're saying he couldn't go back to, let's say, like the 1200s BC with the
Nope.
time of the real Moses,
Nope.
or the 800s BC with the time
Nope.
of Solomon, David, and the kingdoms, Rehoboam.
Nope.
He doesn't know about that.
Nope.
It's just probably like Anno Domini
Yep.
up until then.
Yep.
And
And
all
that's
those
why
pictures
you
that flow around.
have, how ironic, Adnan Rashid going, literally that's how the discussion concluded. I just trust the Quran because I can't demonstrate any historical evidence for the Pharaoh drowning, for example. Or I can't demonstrate any historical evidence for Abraham in the fire of the Chaldeans. It's the Quran says so, and that's it. Done deal. Because the Quran says so. It's like, but dude, the only time these stories occur the way they occur. Clay bird for Jesus, Adam and Iblis in heaven, Mary in the temple.
They're all in 2nd century, 3rd century
All
texts.
common era period, like literally 1st century to 5th century, or if you want to extend to 6th century. But the point is, that's the range. Like,
What are the implications for that? Like, it just sounds like you're saying that, Allah just liked to choose these 500 years and really know those 500 years really intimately.
it's that maybe you can help me on this, but that humorous philosophical notion that how do you not know that God created everything like just a second ago? Like it's sort of like that, but just extend that for 500 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So even if the God of the Quran is like an actual like deity or like spiritual being or something,
Yeah.
you're saying that his knowledge doesn't actually extend to the history of those peoples, but just the way they're presented in these books.
Oh no. Well, okay. Let me just clarify, and then you clarify. I'm saying if we were Muslim, and I went out of my way to be a little bit intelligent,
Yeah.
and I'm genuinely interested.
Mm.
Was there a pharaoh that drowned? And I actually go out of my way to exhaust the literature. And I'm told that, the consensus is Ramses II.
Yeah.
1279, his reign starts. 1213, he dies.
Yeah.
And he's 90 at 1213, which obviously means he predates his reign as well in that context, right? And then the consensus tells me 1272, between 1272 and 1250 is the Exodus. That's still before his death date. And then as a Muslim, I'm like, but the Surah 10 says he's drowned and his body's washed up as a sign that he's drowned. And then I have two options, either to defend, like, so the hill to die on is defending the Quran to my utmost, like, but the only evidence you have is Maurice Bucaille, that French doctor that supposedly did, investigations of the mummy. All BS. Sorry for being an Aussie. And
This is a
We
Christian
said,
channel, bro.
yeah, we said the word raped on
the
stream.
emu
we're
is
fine.
still lurking around.
You can't
so-
say that. It's wine or grape or whatever it is.
No. It's fine.
Don't worry,
And-
we have the. We
Okay,
do that.
okay.
Yeah, so
It's all
okay.
yeah. Okay. So
Give me a wink.
either I can do that
Yeah.
and just defend it because I can't. I don't want the Quran to be false. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna- Or you just have to face the fact that what the heck, Allah, I can actually debate you and
Yeah.
say no. That's not how it happened, and that's it. Like it's literally that simple. But at the same time, unfortunately, it can become esoteric, or it can appear esoteric initially because I know what it was like when I was starting all this for the first time. Because you know how Muslims can just like word vomit like, and then Christians are like, oh boy,
Yeah.
I just cut through all that and went, you know what? Why don't we just the Quran is literally the Quran is literally Allah. Think about it. Muhammad is just the vehicle by means Allah communicates. So the Quran is Allah, literally. Okay, Allah, teach me about history. In fact, let's just say, because this is the Islamic dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say the Torah and the Injil are not just corrupted, but let's just throw it out.
That we don't even have them. We don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, right?
So
Just
the Quran can reconstruct history for us. Literally, we're talking, obviously in the context of modern science, billions of years of history, but with respect
but in
to
the
human
context
history,
of even biblical history, we're talking like maybe
Yeah.
around 2,000 years.
for
Give or
4,000 or
take.
5,000 basically from now. Till
From now,
like,
4,000 or 5,000 years. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's
Great.
supposed to
So this is
reconstruct
the
that
litmus
perfectly.
test, right?
Yeah.
And especially, okay, I'm going to use this quick example and I'll get you guys to talk. So this is something I shared with, and this is me obviously going into stream mode. This is something I shared with Jay Smith.
Yeah.
Abraham and the fire I'll use.
Yeah.
We did not discover the Ugaritic Akkadian cuneiform text until the 1800s.
Right.
Okay, now, now keep in mind Surah 3, Stories of the Unseen, all right? The language, the Ugaritic Akkadian language died out basically just before Alexander the Great, roughly. Okay. The word or, now we know,
Means.
it means country or city.
Yeah.
It's a cognate term. Phonetically, it happens. And by the way, Ugaritic is the parent language to Hebrew. So phonetically, it sounds like the Hebrew word
For light.
or, which is light or fire.
Yeah.
Obviously, the phonetic fallacy happened
Mm.
when Jerome, in his Latin Vulgate, a hill to die on moment. Yeah, nah, there's no other. Literally, what? Like he's not. There's no alternative. It's not like, by the way, Jerome, didn't you know it means city or country? They didn't. They literally, there was no lexicon.
There was
nothing.
no access to the Akkadian text.
They were literally oblivious about the Akkadian.
Yeah, because
that's the
Jerome
point.
just translated it as light.
Yeah, he's just looking at the Hebrew.
And it says light.
Yeah, it means light.
So then he would translate it obviously
Right.
as light.
But I suppose, let me put it this way as well. The only text that did counter the light reading, guess what? Is the Septuagint
Exactly.
that predated Jerome by about 600 years.
Yeah, but
Right.
and Jerome actually mentions that in the commentary. as well.
Yes. And he goes, no, like 999. I'm going to say fire, not as Stephen says in Acts 7. How ironic. Jerome should be like in this case, like
Just saying,
like
yeah.
this is one of those moments where Jerome should have been faithful to the scriptures, right? Because this is the scriptures after
Well,
all. Jerome.
faithful to Stephen's interpretation.
Yeah, because Stephen gets it correct.
because he
The
used the
country,
Septuagint.
yes.
Yeah.
Imagine if this problem was in the Bible. We would have to agree. Yeah, Stephen, you got it wrong, right? But he doesn't.
Because he's referring to an older text than obviously the Hebrew text that Jerome was working from.
and the Septuagint is closer to the period where the language starts to die out and so on.
So then they don't actually have the fallacy in there because they're
Exactly,
actually not just
exactly.
locationally but temporally closer as well.
And then on top of that, you have this elaborated but not really connected to this phonetic fallacy thing. It's just maybe you can call this like a coincidence. Book of Jubilees starts to lurk in a few details about, well, what was Abram really doing? You know, he's smashing the idols, and then that exploded into this grander, more Nimrod is involved and all this. You know.
So
Okay, Allah. Here's your prime opportunity. Probably, I can't think of any other example as a prime opportunity than this one. Muhammad's illiterate.
So we can't
Wow,
write.
he would not know the difference between Hebrew, Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic, Ugaritic, Akkadian, all
Yeah.
that. Allah could do this. He could be like, yes, this
Here's
is my
his
chance to shine.
to actually correct something.
Yes.
This is the
Like,
best chance
correct
because
it.
so the correct
Because
argument.
what's ironic is that he does attempt to correct in the Quran with respect to other stuff. He's like, they say this, but I say this. So why didn't he go, they say Abraham's in the fire, but really, no, that's
He's just in
false.
the country.
Yeah, or I don't know, something. Obviously, you don't want to alienate the audience, right? If you're
Yeah.
God, but some,
Yeah, I
but
guess
some
so.
sort of like they got it wrong, and the real miracle would be something like, well,
And
even-
Allah is the corrector, right? Allah is the
Yeah.
corrector. This is the actual
Yeah.
word. He could even
and
scandalize all the
then
people and say, well, I am the corrector.
that the Quran would be alone if you think about it. It would be going against this common myth for like the next 1,200 years until when we and imagine the Muslims what they would have done if when we dig up the cuneiform and then wait, what, there's Ugaritic and Akkadian and
Yeah, they would have ran circles.
because they do this with the Rosetta Stone. Have you
Yes.
noticed?
Yeah.
Oh, Haman. By the way, that's they're misunderstanding that. But I'm just using that as an example where
Yeah.
if something happens and they try and grasp on it,
The narrative itself, right?
Right.
As in, like, it's
so you can well imagine it's like, see,
Yeah.
Allah said it's the myth is wrong. It's Ur means city. And to be honest, even I would be like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a pretty good
You know,
arg-
you would have to be honest.
but it doesn't do that.
That it doesn't do that.
So to get it
So-
straight, so like obviously we're saying to make this argument even stronger. There's a word that's translated or
Yeah.
like Or of the Chaldees, for
Yeah.
example, right? And usually Or was translated as the Hebrew word for Or, which would mean light or fire.
Yeah, but only in the Common Era period.
Only in the Common Era
Yes,
period,
not
but more.
in the BC period.
But
yeah.
more. Oh, I see. I
That's
see.
the point.
I see.
Yeah.
So in the Common Era period, or from like after like Jesus born, whatever,
Yes.
after Jesus is born, for the next 500-600 years, this Hebrew word
Yes.
is translated as light or
Yes,
fire. And
yes.
all of the scholars that know Hebrew, Christian, Jewish, even atheists
Yeah.
that would know this Hebrew word,
Yeah.
translate it as light
Yeah.
or fire.
Yeah.
Even Jerome,
Yeah.
the best scholar in his day,
Yeah.
and many people's patrons, that guy also
In
translates
the,
it
in
as
the Latin,
light
it
and
says
fire.
igni. Igni is ignition. So
Right, igni or ignis is fire.
caldorium,
Right,
yes,
in
yeah,
Latin.
yeah.
And more importantly, Jerome actually recognizes that the Septuagint has a difference. And he says in the Septuagint, look, Stephen said this, but because I'm translating from Hebrew, I'm going to render it like this. So
Yes,
no, right?
yeah.
So even Jerome says that. Then for some reason, Muhammad comes around. He is illiterate, so he can't read or write,
Yeah.
anything like this, right? Now, if Allah was really God, he would know that beyond those 500 years in the past, these guys translated it differently.
Yeah.
It actually meant a different word
Yeah.
because it's in Ugaritic Akkadian. All Allah has to do is when copying the Abraham story is just tweak the word.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And
he doesn't.
and he doesn't. So here's either he had what's the word where you get a memory loss?
Short-term memory loss.
Amnesia?
Yeah, either he had amnesia
Short term, maybe.
or he's like a Loki deity that was just going along with the trolling. Like, yeah, I'm going to go along with this.
That sounds a
Or
lot more
rather-
like Allah, to be fair.
So,
There are times in the Quran when Allah actually goes out of his way to quote unquote go against the narrative of something in the Bible. For example, Allah makes the earth in X days, and not a single ounce of tiredness touched him. Almost like it's responding to something. It's about someone resting on a certain day. Or Abraham was righteous amongst the disbelievers, and he never disbelieved. Just clarifying. So Allah can say along the lines of like Abraham was never in the fire.
Right. And look, and quickly, just look for the phrase where it says, "Be cool and be a tranquility." Now, this is even.
We can pull it up here. We can actually pull it up on the big screen as well if you wanted to.
Can we?
I've got to do something.
Do you know what the surah is?
Wait.
No. You need to show it on stream. So you need to change the. No, not that.
Oh yeah, on here, right? So go here, do this, and then
That's interesting. It's
showing this screen.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're having technical difficulties right now.
Let's go back real fast to this, and then text support. Do your thing.
Okay, cool. No, I actually do need to go here. So.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's just need to switch it on properties, right, to the other monitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, so what we're doing here is actually showcasing to you how we in real time fix problems. So our Tech Edition SIG has just actually come and made a
so that
whole
thumbnail,
new
this is
thing for you
insane,
guys.
is precisely my
Pretty much.
my
And we're
reaction
back.
to
The Quran or the Hadith? Quran, Hadith, or both?
Just do you have ChatGPT or something?
I do in the corner.
Or
What do you
I just need, because I don't know, I forgot the verse, but
You can
just search.
Yep.
Just search "Be cool and be tranquility."
Okay, give me a second.
Yeah.
Cool. And
Wait, what? Not here.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
And open up Quran X so we can. So that's an easy-
QuranX.com.
Yeah, just go QuranX.com.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So that would be.
I'm kind of hoping it.
because I want to even show some tough seers. Just
That would be.
Classic
Wait, what? No, that's not the one.
what we're looking at.
Yeah, that's QuranX.com. Yeah.
I think it's in 21, but you'll have to
okay.
but you'll have to check.
It's about Abraham, correct?
Yeah, it's,
Abraham in the fire.
and just go "Be cool" and
2169.
there we go.
We said, "Oh fire, be cool
Go all the way down to 69.
and peace upon
Oh,
Abraham."
69 or
Yeah,
61.
69.
So
69.
21, 69.
69. Yeah.
Surah al 21.
So I think I've just noticed something big as well.
Service unavailable.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh,
Well,
no,
no,
what are you
refresh it.
doing?
Refresh the page. Hit refresh. Hit refresh.
There we go.
There you go.
We got it.
All right, zoom in.
Let's
So it
zoom in
says-
like a pro. Yeah, Command and Plus or something like that. Yeah.
All right,
I'm
all
not
right,
a boomer.
all right.
There we
Come
go.
on now.
Come on, you
Do I
got
just
this.
use my
Come
fingers
on
to?
now.
Yeah, and then you
to,
scroll down.
W. Chris.
W Chris.
Wait, where's
So this is really interesting. So it says
How do I?
How do you what?
Go over to the
no
side.
one's saying
Oh,
that.
right.
Now bear in mind, you're not making the argument that this is a contradiction in the Quran, because obviously Muslims can look at that and
Well, wait. Let's read the tough seer. Look at this. Now, before I keep reading, this all five be coolness and safety is verbatim word for word in the rabbinic sources. I kid you not. So it's even worse because now you actually have a rabbinic, the Jews themselves saying that the archangel Michael and Gabriel was there with Abraham in this fire, in this furnace, and then God supposedly, because of Abraham's faithfulness, he says, "Be cool." But see over here, see how this particular tafsir speaks about Nimrod. Where, what on earth is going on with this?
Actually, we could zoom in a little bit more, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Command. Oh, I don't know. I think so. But-
Okay, all right, let's do it.
Okay, Command, and then keep
you
pressing
can
the
make
plus
that
key.
screen smaller if you want. On the,
Oh,
no, it's fine.
No, well, 1 second.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, hang on.
That's cool.
I just
you went
destroyed
backwards.
everything.
No,
have
you
to
just go forward. Just go forward.
Yeah,
Just
just
go
go
forward.
Give me a second. Hold on, people. Hold on. We
Gonna
know
have to
what
do
we're
the
doing.
Yeah.
Tech
We
music.
are
It's like,
indeed professionals.
All right.
That's weird.
There we go.
oh, that's what you managed to do it though.
Okay.
Hey,
but
that's
you-
better.
No, but you've cut out the writing.
I have
You
a-
cut out the
yeah,
writing
yeah.
again. Okay.
All right.
I think you've zoomed in rather than zooming.
No, you'll be
Oh,
fine.
right.
You'll be
That's my
fine.
fault. That's my fault.
Okay, we'll
See
do
there?
that.
Yeah,
So
you got
there's-
it. You got it.
Yeah.
There we go. That's better. There we go.
All right.
All right. Okay.
We know what we are doing. We are professionals. Professional apologists. No one ever said we were technical experts.
Right. Let's see here. So how Ibrahim, this is Kathir, okay?
Oh, he's one of my favorites.
How Ibrahim was
Love
thrown into the
Kathir.
fire and how Allah controlled it. You don't have to worry about that. Let's see. Skip.
You might. Isn't this just Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire?
Yes, yeah. Okay, so that I have a paper. Can that paper be presented on this or no?
It depends. Where is it?
It's on my Google Drive.
We can make it happen. Do you want it to happen right now or in a second?
I can do it anytime, really.
Okay,
Because
okay.
we can always come back
Let's
to it.
do
and-
this and we'll come back to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
come
yeah.
back.
Okay. Skip.
Except for the gecko.
Because the whole thing about it being
Oh
cool,
yeah, like even the gecko thing is part of this. I think. Have I got that mistaken? No. Anyway, I think I wanted to read my duty. I just want to.
Oh,
I show
love
something.
Malduty, man.
Malduty's
Love Malduty.
cool.
Love
Yeah.
Malduty. The greatest 20th century Pakistani tafsir, absolute butcherer of his time.
You know what he said about Surah 65 Ayah 4, right?
What
Yeah,
did
yeah.
he say about
He
that?
basically, he's literally, because he's like in the modern era, at this point, like it's obvious, it's been used as a polemic against
Right.
Islam, and he knows this and he acknowledges it, and he just adds as his tafsir. We remember, guys, we cannot say this is not allowed. We cannot like change what Allah has made permissible,
Right.
Because he knows it's bad.
Right.
It's really interesting.
His tafsir for what surah was it actually? It was for the sin of David, right? So in Surah 38. Thanks to Rob for showing me this actually. It's a very long-winded tafsir. If you read it towards the end, he'll say something to the effect of David must have noticed that that woman, aka Bathsheba, had the qualities of a queen. So actually, he approached her and proposed marrying him instead of a common soldier. In fact, he didn't do anything wrong because at the time it was common among the children of Israel to divorce each other's wives in order for their friends to marry them.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wife swap.
He claimed that this guy Maududi claimed that in ancient Israel you could just swap wives. So
We're not horrible histories, bro.
Nah, sick. If you had a wife and I had a wife and you were like, yo, David, like, can we swap? I'm
That's
like,
dumb.
Sure thing,
that's
man.
the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Isn't
Anything for you.
that a swingers party? basically?
Anything for you, man.
Yeah, that's a swinger thing, bro. That's
That's
a
just-
sneako thing.
That's absolutely just.
That's just the best, bro.
That's insane.
Okay.
That said, though, I do shout out Sneeko, but that said, right? So to summarize everything that we're going on here, because we're going in deep.
Yeah,
But there
yeah,
is
yeah,
so
yeah.
much more of the course to
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about. You're saying that these are the sort of talks that you guys gave. You guys really enjoyed the talks that's going
Yeah.
on. You guys kind of found real pleasure in being able to go deep into these kinds of things as well. I do want to ask. So at the corner, you guys, we show up there. Chris, you and David both go to the corner a lot. What is the corner usually like, and how was the corner today?
Let's get into that. Let's let Rob give his explanation, and
Yeah.
then we'll go out to the corner.
Yeah, of
Rob,
course,
sound
of
good?
course.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show that Maududi is a modern commentator, like in the early 1900s or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that's younger.
You say that. I think he died in the 80s or something.
Yeah,
don't
he's the 20th century
Yeah.
tafsir.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
So
he's
he would have
sensitive
known
enough
about
to say
these.
something like this. The Talmud, however, gives quite a few details about the life of Prophet Abraham, about the period of his stay in Iraq, which are generally the same as
Iraq.
given in the Quran. But there is a glaring discrepancy in some of the important events. In fact, one can clearly feel that the account given in the Talmud is full of heterogeneous and hypothetical things, while the one given in the Quran is most clear and contains nothing unworthy of Prophet Abraham. It sounds like a Joe Witness track.
Yeah.
We reproduce below the account as given in the Talmud so that the reader may know the difference between the Quranic and Jewish versions. Okay, what's curious is he not aware that he's about to actually give us ammunition in regards to the Talmud's defense of this, the fire stuff, basically? So the Talmud then says, and then he's quoting the Talmud, and this is this engagement between Abraham and Nimrod, this whole thing, right? But look at this over here. Nimrod accordingly let off Terah, but threw Haran into the fire along with Abraham. Now, what's really interesting before this event in the Quran, okay? So as Christians and also as the Talmud says, notice his name is Abram. not Abraham. Okay? Abraham is because of the covenant that happens.
Yeah. Remember.
Okay.
Because the name change.
Right. And the Talmud, ironically, is well aware of that. The Quran, though, when Abraham goes and, well, in this case, Abram, and he goes and destroys all the idols, one of the guys, okay, one of the mushrik, are like, go and look for Abraham. He must have destroyed the idols. That's an anachronism. Why would they be calling him Abraham
When they don't know the name
before-
change.
Because his name is Abram in their language. God, the true God, modifies that with respect to the covenant, because we all know when you talk about name changes, it's associated with the deity. Like Daniel and his mates, they changed to Babylonian names associated with the deities of Babylon, right? So Abraham is a change from a Chaldean identification to Yahweh's identification. So the Quran, ironically, and this is now the dark, what I call the more dark side of the Quran, if the Quran wants to have a subtle jab at the covenants that the true God does, right, to bring about salvation,
When it changes
would you
names.
say this is like Loki, like a Loki/Satan attempt to really rub it in that, nah, the name change was insignificant. And I'm going to purposely, like a Loki, put in an anachronism here to really rub it in.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
I can
saying?
see that. I can see that, yeah.
Like it's a both and sort of thing. It's an anachronism, and if it's demonically inspired, it's like he'll go along with it. Like,
That's
so,
interesting, yeah.
And but then notice, fire along with Abram. Haran was burnt to death instantly, but people saw that Abram was walking unhurt through the flames, and on it goes. So how interesting, Maududi, you're like giving us ammunition that the Talmud says this. And now notice how he ends this thing over
He
here.
says the Talmud could never be a source book from Allah.
Can a reasonable person, after reading this account of the Talmud, ever imagine that this could be a source book for the stories given in the Quran? Well, the
Yeah.
only other text, apart from the Talmud, that speaks about the fire of the Chaldeans is the Quran. You have Jerome's mistranslation, but there's no account of this in the BC period. I'm sorry.
And I think I heard you once say that the technology for because it's describing a furnace. This isn't just some fire. that
Yeah,
you're putting outside.
and the Chaldeans did not practice this whatsoever.
Furnace technology wasn't invented until the Babylonian period.
Well, actually, the Egyptians are more. In fact, this falls into another critical scholarly sort of route, because when I was writing my commentary in Daniel and looking at the details of the fiery furnace there in Daniel, the reason why a lot of them are like, oh, it's ahistorical, blah blah, is because fiery furnace stuff is more Egyptian. Until 3 years ago, then they finally discovered some evidence for like a fiery furnace thing with respect to Babylon, but only, now notice this, only around the time of Daniel, not before. It's right at that edge.
I see.
In the 6th century.
Yeah, about the
So-
time where obviously you have the
Right.
men thrown into the furnace.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And Abraham is obviously, like what, 1400 years before Daniel. So
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway.
Wow.
The
And,
corner.
and all of that was at the talk, though. All of that was at the talk as well.
The corner.
See what I'm saying? I went to go to the corner now, now we're going corner. Say no more.
No,
So-
listen. That's what I was gonna say. We're gonna let Rob finish.
Yeah,
the
that's,
corner.
that's basically.
Okay, so
Sorry we're rushing, but we probably want to end this in about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So-
wait, I'm going to switch back to the.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The corner.
So Chris,
yes.
that being said, you were at the
What's
Chris,
the difference?
you were a regular attender at the corner. How was the corner today? And versus how was the corner usually?
Man, the corner usually is dominated by Muslims.
Really?
Mostly. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's gotten better actually over the years, but it's still very much there are more Muslims than there are
Christians.
Christians, and Christians have to be quite spread out to try to deal with all of that, which means that we kind of have to accept that some, visitors or new people are going to end up talking to like, Paul Williams or whoever.
My dear boy.
That's it.
Yeah, he wasn't there today, right?
No, he
No,
was.
he was.
What?
Yeah, I saw Paul
Yeah,
Williams. many
that's how
times.
insignificant he was. He was lurking
Yeah,
in
he
the
was-
shadows of
I
the shadows.
wanted to meet him.
He made an effort to appear inconspicuous today.
He was. I kept an eye on him because I was like, "What are you doing, Paul? You're sneaky. What are you doing?" And he was just like, just standing there or just walking around aimlessly. I didn't see him speak to a single person.
He's an aimless man. What do you
and I
expect?
saw him like a few times throughout the day. But yeah, anyway, so like that's how it normally is. But today though, things were radically different. There was a massive change. You now had we had tons of Christians. A lot of people from the NAPC conference came. And so what that meant was we had a huge turnout in numbers. We had tons of Christians. It was amazing. And all these Christians as well had just been to a conference teaching them how to be polemical against Islam. So they were prepared. So, and you had Dr. J. Smith and Vocab was there, Vocab Malone.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
he was the most chillest guy.
He's very chill. Yeah. So, yeah, it was totally different atmosphere. You know, Paul Williams looked like he had no clue. Hashim, Mansour, they looked like they had no clue.
Speaking of Hashim, we have, oh my gosh. So if you go to YouTube right now, right, I don't mean to interrupt you. So, guys,
that was it basically. But
yeah. It was crazy. So the clips are already circulating around. People have been sending clips around of everything. Yeah, do you want to change it on the main screen as well?
Yeah, no, we'll get the video out. And
yeah. So in context, God Logic was there. Big David was there. Rob was there. Chris was there. Bob was there as well. I was there as well.
Was there.
What are we looking for in terms of videos?
Oh my gosh, wait. I have the channel. It is... Oh, not Cleave Tentacles here. Yeah. Sunday Speakers Corner is live. Right. So Sunday Speakers Corner.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. Carry on. Yep. So, everyone was there.
Anyway, so everyone was there. And everyone that you can imagine was there. Some people weren't able to be there. Obviously, AP can't be there. Other people couldn't be there. David couldn't be there. Some guys couldn't be there.
That's just good.
But when I tell you, we had one debate that was really cool, which was... No, not that one. Go to live. And then the recent one. Yeah, 234. Yep. That one.
These guys is hurting.
Oh, hello. I don't know that guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Whoa, wait, who is that?
Who's that?
Hang on, let me show
Who's that guy?
Who's that handsome Tasmanian devil?
Go to 2 hours and 20. Go to 2 hours 28 minutes and 40 seconds.
Man, can you even see the...
Yeah, I can try.
Yeah, you do, man.
Anyways, context. God Logic was able to debate pretty much most people there, but most of them, again, was trying to run from them. He was able to get a debate with Hashim. So last year, he debated...
28 minutes and what, sorry?
28 minutes and 28 minutes and 40 seconds.
All right.
So God Logic in the past was able to debate one half of Dawa Wise, destroyed him, and now we don't hear of Mansour again. And this time, he was going to... Yeah, last year, Mansour. And this year... he decided to debate Hashim. Hashim asked God Logic, what topic do you want to debate? He said, show me what the Injil is. I promise you, for an hour and 40 minutes, Hashim never defines what the Injil is. He couldn't tell us. And then he said, we don't need to tell you. Plot synopsis.
Oh, snap.
Then they moved, just pause it. Then they moved to talking about the day and the hour and whether or not Jesus Christ knows the day and the hour. Now, I'm there, God Logic's there, Big Drake's there in the back. He cooked Ali Dawah as well. He said that the Greek word, and for your Greeks out there, you will kind of laugh about this. The Greek word oiden in the perfect text, because he doesn't know Greek at all, he said that the word oiden doesn't mean to tell or to make something known to someone else. God Logic appeals to the definition of the word and says that the word to tell is there. I'm just going to, you guys are just going to watch. I'm not even going to, spoil it for you.
Don't you love it when a South Asian who can barely speak Arabic tells you how to speak Greek?
I love that. I love it so much. I love it so much.
It's ironic the Quran attempts to speak Greek. It transliterates Jonah as Eunice.
Really?
Yes. You were talking about this in your speech,
what?
I think.
Oh, and that's the iota, no?
So Eunice in the Septuagint, it transliterated in the Quran, Eunice in the Quran.
Yeah.
Why is Allah speaking Greek?
Well, Allah
loves
speak
Greek.
whatever the man
Jonah
wants.
wasn't called Eunice. That's a translation in Greek.
He loves the Injil.
Anyway.
So to get back to this, so one of the things that you will notice in this clip, and God Logic will have his own VOD, but one of the things you'll notice in this really bad clip is Hashim thought that the word Edo, which is the present tense form of the word, is a different Greek word than oid. He thought it wasn't the same word when he defined it. He doesn't know Greek at all, doesn't know what tenses are, but hey, I guess he knows Arabic. So yeah, just play the clip and see what's going on.
Change the word. Wait, this is exactly what the Pharisees did. Change the word. No, guys. I didn't ask him for the primary term. The word is oiden. The word oiden can mean different things, including to tell. Okay? So it's not when you open. So guys, it's not going to be translated as tell.
Oh, wait a minute. So,
that's the word. But the meaning carried is going to be meaning to tell.
So now you use the primary verb, but not the word that's used in
Wait,
the
pause that, pause that.
So
then he says
So now you're using the
primary
word.
verb. The primary verb. Because the verb.
My bad.
Because they can't pronounce it.
My bad. The verb.
The share.
My bad.
The share.
But the tricky thing he calls Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday and verb.
Okay. All right. W Hashim.
Over to you, Ashim.
So he's saying you're using the primary verb or the primary verb and action, but not the definition. But wait, the primary verb is the definition. Like when you define a word, it's primarily a verb. So if I say, for example, speech, right? Speech is primarily a verb. Speech is a noun. It can be, but even a word like run, run is primarily a verb.
Yeah.
So when I define the word run, I'm using it primarily as a verb. But he didn't know that primarily a verb was part of the definition. He didn't actually know.
Yeah.
All right, let's give it.
So let me tell you. So he used a primary verb, but not the actual word that is used in that particular part. So I'm going to do the same thing as him. I'm going to Mark 13:32, and I'm going to look at the term "no" in the parallel grid. Yeah.
Yes, he's actually doing this for you.
Okay.
Stop
So
talking.
let's go there. Okay. So one for.
But by the way, I love the Islamic cheerleaders who will say, "Hey, he's talking, he's teaching you. Listen to him, so you can hear what he's saying."
Gosh, it's so annoying.
And I always asked him, "What did he say?" "Oh no, listen." I'm like, so you just want to get in my way without actually proving that you're also listening to what he's saying? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Carry on. God bless you.
42. Let's see the definition of the actual word that's used there. It says here.
Let's see the what? They post that.
the
The
verb.
actual definition of the word that's used.
No, they say word or
Be
verb.
interesting.
No, go back just 5 seconds. Just
You
if
really
you go
got
back.
closer.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Interesting, yeah.
Okay, so let's go there. Okay, so 142. Let's see the definition of the actual word that's used there.
The definition of the actual word that's used there. So he's got Bible Hub, as you can see on the screen. If you can just see the blue there, that's
He's-
Bible Hub.
No. See,
That's Bible Hub.
This frozen frame, yeah. You know what he's about to do, Dave?
What?
What's he about to do?
All right, everyone, chill. Allow me to break the ice. What killed the dinosaur?
The
ice age.
Yo, if you guys know, you know. If you guys know, you know.
So this is the thing, right? What I love here is God Logic pulled up the definition of the word on Bible Hub,
Yeah.
which is the only lexicon either of them
Which
needed at
I
the
wish
time.
you could. I wish you could. I don't know.
Well, they couldn't. They're not going to pull up FD. They're not going to pull up FW
Like
Danker.
what's it? Oh man, it slipped my mind. But basically, the standard lexicon for Greek.
FW Danker.
Leslie Allen or
What's it called?
Leslie Allen?
No. FW Danker's
Oh,
Dictionary
yeah,
of the New Testament. Yeah.
Yeah,
Frederick
Danker
W.
and,
Danker.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
one. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, it would show that.
You showed the same
But
thing.
the irony is, even Strong's, which is like the most outdated thing.
Yeah,
that's-
it's the most like
that's
basic.
the point.
Like,
That's
yeah.
the point. Yeah.
But the point, but the
Yeah.
interesting thing here is, God Logic didn't actually use Strong's.
BDAG is.
He did, yeah,
is
branch
thing.
over
Yeah,
break.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he didn't. So he uses Strong's Concordance
Yeah.
just to show how basic the definition was, right? And then Hashem says, I don't want to use Strong's Concordance. I want to use the definition at the top of the app. So he scrolls up and has all the words that are written there. And so he's going to say, these are all the different words.
Yeah.
So remember, tell isn't there. That's the point. Tell isn't there.
Yeah.
Is here very clearly. This is it says be aware, behold, X can,
Be aware.
not tell,
Pause.
not tell.
Pause.
Oh, not
What?
tell.
Not tell.
Be a
Not tell.
Not tell.
Be a fair.
Not tell.
Be a fair.
Now
but
here's
not
the thing.
tell.
God Logic is reading the same thing.
Yep.
Now I've seen this before because I used to do this like 2 years ago. Like I've seen the whole thing, so I know it says tell there. But God Logic doesn't know that yet. Now I've gone to God. I was like, God Logic, whatever you do, don't say anything. Don't correct him.
Let him
Don't
do
correct
this.
him. Just let him read.
Let it play.
Let it play. Yeah. It can. Let it play. It can. All right, go.
Wait, very clear. Not tell. Yeah. Not tell.
Where?
Not tell.
Not tell.
Yes. Consider. Have. No. Look. Perceive.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
Be sure. Tell.
Oh my days! I'm sorry. Is that like random Christians with Arabic Qurans?
That is amazing. And they're all different Qurans as well. They're all different.
Literally, he got cooked and he's stirring. He's stirring with a
That's
spoon.
gonna be
Yeah.
an epic, absolutely epic short. No.
You can see the clip.
The way the camera just panned over. And it's just adding insult to injury.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah.
But the thing is,
the dude yelled, not tell.
not tell,
Not
not
tell.
tell, not tell.
And then he was like, tell.
Wait, go back.
That's crazy.
This is like
That's crazy. That's crazy.
if you want to see like, if you wanted like an encapsulation of the entire weekend that we've just had, it's that.
That's
That's the
crazy.
encapsulation.
By the way, just a side note. Shout out to God Logic. That guy is a hard worker. That guy is a really hard worker. Shout out to him.
Yeah, he does well, bro.
The fact that he had the energy all the week long,
Yeah.
and was doing multiple hours of in real life dollar interactions, Stratford, like Whitechapel, Speaker's Corner. Shout out to him.
But that's the thing. The difference between God Logic and all these other things is the fact that all of us as apologists, we all naturally, I say apologists, but all of us naturally love this.
Yeah.
Not apologetics, but naturally love research.
Yeah.
Naturally love theology. Naturally love Christ and the wisdom associated with
Yeah.
him. And so we like communicating it in these different ways.
Yes.
You go into like 5-hour plus streams where
but
all you're
this
doing is going into one thing.
You know, the emu is actually kind of sleeping. I put it to sleep. it's like, you know what? I'm not gonna do anything. This is nice sleep voice.
You know what I'm saying? But like you spent, for example, like Chris, you spent hours editing just one little 20-minute video because you love the passion for it. You go on every single stream humanly possible just to make sure that everything's okay. And we're all working overtime just to make sure that, like, bro, I came down from my exams today just to meet these guys to do the conference and stuff like this. So like we all put on our effort, but then Muslims try to copy our style. And because they don't have the innate energy to do it, it always fails. It always fails.
And just quickly, you know, I just want to quickly say this. It's kind of ironic that they focus more on trying to dunk on the Bible. So all that energy expenditure that they do in researching the Bible, but obviously through a filtered lens, right? It's like they haven't done that same amount of time and effort and energy to figure out their own Quran. And when then you ask questions about historical details, you know, like what I did, I don't know. It's interesting, right? But you Christians, it's like we are hungry to just look at literally everything. You know.
But more so, just like more than looking, it's the way that we carry ourselves, like in our respective channels.
That's very important.
Everyone has a sort of aura that they carry around themselves and what they like to do. God Logic's aura is literally just going around and being as energetically Christian as possible. That's his whole thing. And he loves it. Like he doesn't just debate because, oh, I'm gonna get clips and views. Like he's been debating for years and he's loved it every single time.
And by the way, when the copycats come, no one yet has brought this level of theatrics to Christian apologetics where they actually put on a costume.
Yes, yeah, I was
To,
thinking
to
that.
further emphasize exactly by how much they're dominating the conversation. In the future, watch, they're going to be Muslims
That's
who
gotta try and
wear
copy this.
costumes when they go outside.
But the thing
Well,
is-
actually, maybe not.
But the problem is
if you
they
stand
won't be able to do it.
I don't know if I should say this live, but I'm coming from a culture where it's a saying in India.
Just Christian friendly.
I've got the sense already.
We got the sense already.
It's not. There's no expletives. It's just when you stand up to a Muslim, you've got yourself a cowardly Muslim, basically. Like just to paraphrase the saying.
No need for no.
No, but you can tell us the real statement. 3, 2, 1, go now. But like you can see that, like when I tell you that there was like I think 100 or so people around this like section here, and Hashim says not tell because he thought, and
Very confident.
the thing is, people need to understand like how these conversations work. Hashim knows that it says tell, or at least he hasn't read that far yet. But Hashim thought that God Logic would interrupt him and get a smaller victory by just proving him right. By saying, see, it does say tell, but because it's God logic saying it and not Hashem, it's not that deep, right?
Yeah.
But if Hashem was to read it and say it, then it makes the point even more disparate. Because not only does Hashem quote from an outdated source, he hasn't even read that outdated source.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Well, it's just like later on when Rob talks to Adnan Rashid.
Yes.
And Adnan Rashid, when being caught on questions about the Exodus, pivots over to the Bible being corrupted. And then when he's proving the Bible is corrupted, all he can do is pull out the title of a book that says that the New Testament, it's recreation, or it's like what? It's like what? Like
The Bruce Metzger
the configuration,
Which is so
the
ridiculous because Bruce
distortion,
Metzger's rolling in his grave.
and the restoration. So I asked him, Adnan right quick, have you read any chapters in this? We're just going to show you the title.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think let's look at this one more time because that was hilarious.
But
I did.
also Dave, thank you for your you're very resourceful with that because I couldn't bring up the drive. While I'm streaming.
Don't worry.
And then I was able to bring up that book, Myths and Mistakes in New Testament Textual Criticism, and so on. And right.
and also when we get to Adnan, it's very interesting. Adnan doesn't know what a consensus is. Right? Because for Adnan, a consensus means that all individuals within a certain field of study have the same opinion on the same thing. That's a consensus for Adnan.
Okay. That's
Because Raw brings out a book
the
where
5 views on the Exodus, right?
5 views on the Exodus, and 4 of the 5 agree it occurred in some sense. Adnan replies, "That's not a consensus."
Oh. Man, he's got some problems with his own scholarship.
I love it though, because like you need to understand, right, that no content creator, whether they're Christian or Muslim, becomes popular by accident. I think what happens is, and you guys can agree with me or not, at around like, let's say...
I don't agree.
No.
Okay.
Not so far. Not yet.
I hate you guys. Around like, let's say like, even like something as small as like a channel with 1,000 to 2,000 subs. Most of the big apologists, it's a small world. Word gets around really, really fast as to who you are. And the same happens with Islam. With Christian apologists, if you have 2K subs and like people are seeing what you're doing, we're just like, oh, go on, keep going. It's great. That's great. You know, anyone that's going up, that's cool. It's cool. We need more. It's great. It's amazing. For Muslims, they selectively choose who they want to promote and who they don't. So if you have a channel, for example, the Orthodox Muslim, it's like 3K. Like last year, remember, like last year was 3K. Now 30K subs, over like 100, maybe 200K on TikTok. The only reason he's popular is because Muslims decided he's like the counter to God logic.
Yep.
That's the only reason that he's popular. And as soon as Orthodox Muslim burns out, because he's not going to be able to keep up with him, he's going to stop and get frustrated.
Just like Eyebrows did.
Just like Dean. Just like Dean.
Just like Dean, just like Dawah Dunya.
Yeah, oh my gosh, Dawah Dean is a sad
Eyebrows,
story.
man. Well, where are you? I don't see you anymore refuting Christians.
He grew off clips. I mean, he grew off clips. It's a shame.
It's a shame, man.
Yeah, man.
Flash in the pan.
But that's all. Most Muslim apologists are flashes in the pan. So they come for like 6 months and they're like everyone's headache for 6 months. And then because they can't keep the content with longevity, they just fall out of the race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or they can't get money. Like Dean just keep talking about money.
Dean has to be the most transparent so far about money problems.
He's been so transparent. He's just like, well, here's what I don't understand. He's like, I need to pay someone for my thumbnails because I don't want to make my own thumbnail. Sorry, it's an image. You can make an image very easily. Go on CapCut and do it yourself. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, like, just to like tell the audience this, you can pay. Like, I use like Photo Room or something. You pay like so much a month, and it really helps like make like thumbnails much easier. Like, you don't need to pay someone hundreds or something ridiculous to do it for you.
Chris, you need to pay someone hundreds in order to have the heads of 4 apologists all pointing guns.
Oh yeah. You know, that time when we were all gangsters and we all pulled guns out.
That's what you're paying for.
But the whole point is like part of doing this stuff is paying your dues. You're not gonna have crazy content and like 7K subs. It's not gonna be well polished and nice. Okay, you need to have the trash content in terms of its way that it looks and the way that it's produced and the way that it's like low quality. But what makes it good quality is the fact that you're researched. It's the fact that people want to listen to the words that you have to say. Bro, my content is trash. When it comes to like the performance, bro, I'm like on 540p
If
recording
someone
off a
checks,
toaster.
if you look at Dean's post every 7 to 10 days, he'll remind you that Islamophobes are getting paid for their content. Therefore, pay him too.
Which I keep making these videos where I'm like,
$3
bro,
grand.
I make like no money from this. I lose money doing this. But like Dean's like, yeah, but I need like 20 grand. I was like, why?
But Chris, you're old and Dean's only 22, so therefore,
I'm an old
my
man.
gosh.
But I'm going to
gosh.
retire soon and get my pension. Like, yeah, that's how I plan on doing it.
No, but like,
Dean's really about to start taking his first steps.
no, God.
Baby Dean.
Baby Dean, Baby Diddy. That's the problem.
Baby Diddy.
Baby Diddy.
Let's watch this again.
Yeah,
And
let's
let's go over to Adnan.
Yeah, no,
Am
the
I meant to hear something or no?
Yes? You don't hear anything?
No.
Oh, boy.
Oh no, you haven't heard this?
No.
What?
I thought that's why I was being quiet. I thought it was just meant to play for the.
Give me a second. Give me
Wait,
one
you
second.
can't
No,
hear.
I didn't want to.
You
That's
didn't-
why I didn't want to mention anything because then.
Hold on.
Okay.
Can I have your headphones 1 second?
Yeah.
So you couldn't actually hear the reaction.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're having technical issues right now.
Okay.
We'll be back in a moment.
No, I can hear this. Play it.
Yeah, but play it.
Okay, cool. Right. So it's-
Ooh,
Hello. Okay, for some reason this is broken. That one is that one. Okay. Back in.
Oh, apparently
Hello.
there's super chats.
Yes.
So we might want to go through those.
Maybe read those out real quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Interesting.
Someone said that David isn't too bright.
I'm never bright.
No,
No,
it's
I'm not
because
too bright
it's because
either.
you're dark skin. That's why.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's that too. I swear, every single time.
A lot of these people are anti-black.
Well, yeah, read the super chats maybe and just in the meantime. All right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, read some super
Hello,
chats.
hello.
I got the super chats up. So, well, there aren't any
okay.
major super chats that have been sent.
All right.
So.
Here,
Oh, they're on.
take mine, and then I will make it work.
All right.
Somehow.
All right,
Thanks,
partner.
Dave.
Keep
Hello.
on rolling, baby.
Was Adnan the guy who miscultured?
Oh
Rob?
my
Yeah,
goodness, this is
Adnan said
incredible.
Adnan said because you look white, therefore you're like 100% like white.
What are they in the? Oh wow, this is intense.
All of this is in
It
the
has
clip,
to be
yeah.
intense.
This.
So the
Yeah,
whole
see?
time you couldn't hear anything.
whole
Just now.
No, I'm just inferring what you're saying.
Oh no, Rob, you can't
You
do
need to have
that.
the
should've
full
told us.
podcast.
And I was
You
doing
need
a
to have
pretty
the
good
full
job.
experience.
We did our boy.
You were doing
dirty.
well.
Whoa.
You should've
We
told
didn't
us.
mean to do you dirty, man.
Wow.
But now
Okay.
you're gonna get the full pleasure of why this is so funny.
Wait. Are they actually live in the comments?
Yeah, there should be live. I'm not sure how they see it though.
No,
being a new,
you just said Adnan's in the comments.
Adnan's not in the comments now.
Okay.
Oh,
that would be funny. That would be very funny.
That'd be very funny. I mean, they can be in the comments if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And most Muslim apologists, like the high ones, do watch most people's live streams.
Okay, let's play this because it is good. Now you get to hear it, Rob.
oh my goodness.
Here we
Okay,
go.
Yeah, go from.
No, go all the way back. Go all the way
wait,
back. No,
wait.
no, no.
Let's
Don't
do
ruin it. Don't ruin it.
Let's do it.
It, bro. It actually. You know what it sounds like? You know Super Hot Fire.
Wait, what changed? Everything's fine?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know Super Hot Fire.
I do not.
Yeah, no.
The rapper, David. You know Super Hot
I
Fire.
also were on fire.
You know, anytime he
bim,
says
bam,
like a
bam, bam, boom.
But I'm
bada,
like,
bam,
boom.
bam.
Pow. Ah, yeah.
All right.
It's like that one black guy that says like a mediocre burn, and then everyone screams.
Okay, go back.
It's kind of like here.
No. You have to go. You have to
I
go
wanna
back
go
to
to the 28, yeah,
28,
yeah,
28, 40, because then
Yeah,
you need
yeah,
to
yeah.
understand the context.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
okay,
context.
yeah, from
Context. Oiden means tell. Hashim says no. GL says yes.
All right, let's see.
Okay,
Let's
see.
see.
Here we go.
So guys, it's not going to be translated as tail.
Oh,
It's gonna be translated as
wait a
no.
minute. So,
That's the word.
I'm doing the
But
same thing
the
as you.
meaning carried is going to be meaning to tell.
So now
something.
you use the primary verb, but not the word that's used in the. What
are you talking about?
The
What are you
word.
talking
My turn now. So let me tell you. So he used the primary verb, but not the actual word that is used in that particular part. So I'm going to do the same thing as him. I'm going to mark 1332, and I'm going to look at the term no. In the parallel grid, yeah.
Yes, he's actually doing it for you, you know.
Okay,
Stop
so
talking,
let's
listen.
go there. Okay, so 142. Let's see the definition of the actual word that's used there. It says here very clearly. It says be aware, behold, X can, not tell. Not tell.
Wait.
Very clear. Not tell. Yeah. Not tell.
Wait.
Not tell. Wait.
Keep reading.
Yes. Consider. Have. Know. Look. Perceive. See. Be sure. Tell.
Seriously.
Bring up Quran's while also refuting a man who can't speak any Greek.
Yeah, you got cooked after you actually got cooked with a guy wearing a chef hat with
With a big spoon
my
stirring.
You know,
and the spoon actually has an inscription which says Chef Logic, he just cooks.
Oh my goodness.
With the Arabic Qurans in the background.
Which
It's
you've been
like-
defending
I'm
for
now
10
hearing
years
effects.
that aren't
Yeah.
different.
Oh, the whole time you
It's
can
a
hear
picture. It's such a picture.
you know, interesting. I'm looking at this psychologically. So you're seeing him just read through. It's like as if he was in a robot mode. Like he's just going.
He is in robot mode.
And then when he's reading tell, it's like he didn't actually see it first, and then obviously he'd hesitate, right? Like, oh,
You wouldn't say it.
but he was just going like robot. Like that's interesting. Yeah.
Because so I think so psychologically, right? I think for Hashem, it's like a brain fart moment where if he doesn't read it, then that means that he's acknowledged it's there and now he's lying.
Yeah.
So he needs to, he has to
He's
read.
just going
Torah.
through it like in a weird blind way, but at
But-
the same time he's just. Like
yeah.
on
But notice
autopilot
how
and-
he says
yeah.
it. So he doesn't accentuate tell. He tries to almost rush through it so that you don't clock it. So he's like, perceive, no,
Yeah.
no, and he tries to read through it quickly so that you don't
Yeah.
clock it.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
as soon
yeah,
as we
yeah,
all
yeah.
hear tell,
Yeah,
we all just
yeah,
lost
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
Because it was like the epitome of the entire debate. He kept confusing nature and person. He kept confusing being and person. Like every single time he would define consciousness in such a way that it just literally reduces to person. Like he kept defining things in a weird way. Then he goes and defines an actual Greek word in the wrong way. And then when he reads the definition, he then's like, that's not the definition.
yeah,
though."
yeah, yeah.
And then we finally force him to read it.
Is that so? Wait, what happens after this specifically?
So after
Does
this,
the whole discussion just stop, or is,
so the discussion doesn't stop, but we basically God logic for the rest of the discussion is like on the yard, on the top,
right.
because he just keeps going around this where basically we pull up 1 Corinthians 2:2, like we were talking about,
okay?
and we say, see, here's a time where the word Ada.
I did not need to know anything else except exactly. Yeah.
Obviously, Paul knows his name, and obviously that one is in the infinitive tense, so it's
Right.
even stronger than
Right.
just the complete tense,
Right.
in the complete aspect. So instead of oiden, it's a day night, but it's the same Greek word, eidos, same Greek word.
Yeah.
And we see it there used. Hashem says, and this is so funny, it's a different verse, and Paul wrote it, so it's not true.
So therefore,
So therefore, it's not true. Word is bond. And when we asked him, hey, like, how do you know that that's the case? He just said, listen, bro, I'll just affirm it. Word is bond. I said, I don't care if your word is bond. You clearly lied here. So yeah, this was just literally plot synopsis of basically everything that was going on.
Hey guys, real quick. Can we bring up the super chats? Because I got a message. Apparently, there are some super chats somewhere.
yeah.
You can
so-
bring up super chats, but you can open your chat there.
Maybe.
How do I do it?
Maybe
Gotta
just,
show me mine.
Open the doc there.
down bottom right.
Oh yeah, here. Wait, what?
Stick. Go around. Do it.
No, don't need.
So there's
Oh,
like a dock
over there on this. Oh, sorry.
So where
Yeah,
am I
yeah, yeah.
doing?
There's like a dock there.
Doc. Where?
And then
Yes,
click.
Yes,
Yeah.
right there. Option.
I'm so. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm being dumb. Yeah,
And then chat.
cool.
Boom, it's open.
Cool.
And now you can see, you can go to top chat. You can go to, so click top chat
Yeah.
and then go to fan funding. Boom, all the super chats.
Cool. Nice. We can't bring them on screen because it's not like a streaming
No,
thing,
no,
is
no,
it?
no.
All right, well, I'm just going to read them out because thank you very much. Jack Ray, you said hello. Thank you. Hello to you as well. Hope you are doing well at this this very late hour.
Done.
And we have another super chat that says, why Mohammed crossed the road to, hang on. Wait, where's the beep?
It's the
That's it. Yeah, to Aisha that turned 9, left their pagan moon god, all glory to Jesus, the physical manifestation of God. Indeed.
Subhanallah,
Thank you very
subhanallah.
much. Cool.
Okay. Thank you for the super chats and thank you
for
for
the super
pigs.
chats.
is already viral on TikTok.
Amen.
Really beautiful.
clip is already viral.
So the Hashem clip is already.
How many views?
I'm gonna check now. They just
Yeah.
How do I kill it? How do I kill it? Docs, and then we like no more chat.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes.
Sweet. Boomer mode's done with.
May I just perform a small test? I just want to see if I think I fixed what was going on with my headphones. If I play this,
Tell them, tell
I still can't hear.
tell Manuel to send me the clip. He's in chat. Manuel's in chat.
All right, Manuel, send Sig the clip if you don't mind. Okay, interesting. I think I fixed most things, but I just can't hear the actual
Video.
video. Well, that's fine. I'll fix it later.
Oh man.
Good enough. Okay.
It always seems like at least one person's microphone has problems.
Yeah. Road needs to fix that. Anyway, aside from this,
I'm going to stand.
no worries. Aside from this, then my next favorite part, and I think we'll probably end on this when we're done, is going to be marrying Hashem and adding on Zabor with Rob. This was the conversation that needed to happen because my apologies. Adnan Rashid, not Hashem. Adnan Rashid makes the claim that he's
You have a clip of that?
it's probably here somewhere.
We just don't know the timestamp.
But we probably have to go on a different channel to actually get the clip. I can look for it very quickly, but the preamble will be, because you're going to take us through what happened, but the preamble would be, I wanted to put them together to see exactly what they would talk about.
Yeah.
And I did not expect, Manuel, he sends it over. I did not expect the idea that they were going to deviate to talking about Darwinism. But Darwinism from a very interesting perspective, not from a scientifically rigorous perspective, not from a sense by which they think that the theory is wrong, but by the sense that which, because Darwin was white and spoke about human groups, he's therefore racist. Now, the problem was, from my understanding, and Rob can go more into this in a second, they didn't actually provide a primary source that shows Darwin is racist. Instead, they provided a singular secondary source that claimed that Darwin's work was used later on for eugenics.
Yep.
Now, if I made a really good formula for how to make, I don't know, some very explosive chemical or element 5 times more potent, and then I die and somebody else uses it for something else, is that my fault?
No.
Yeah. I mean, the Quran is condemned by this, right? Like, the
Effectively.
Quran is being used for all sorts of bad things. I guess that means the Quran's bad.
Right.
Allah, will you stop like making material that people are usling to justify jihad? It's getting really annoying.
Yeah, pretty much that. But Rob, take it away. What on earth was that discussion?
I'll also just quickly say this. Ali Dawa's discussion, I don't know if you're aware that I had a...
You did.
Honestly,
another one.
that is like icing on the cake. I loved that discussion because I was a little bit more passionate about that one because of the topic of the Trinity
I think Ali Dawah,
and the hypostasis of the two natures of Christ. And
in the last week, Ali Dawah has done more, I think, to harm the cause of Islam than he did when he revealed that the scientific miracles were debunked.
so,
Yeah.
so I want whoever recorded that one. I know I streamed it, but whoever recorded that one, I think one of us
Yes,
recorded
yes,
it.
we got it.
Honestly, just clip that because that, I went full blown Carl Sagan on Ali Dawa, and
Carl Sagan on him. Don't make me go Carl Sagan on you, Ali.
But yeah, Sig needs to review that one because I don't know. I just went into autopilot mode and went really passionate about it. But yeah, coming back to Adnan,
No, I'll review everything. By the way, if they can't hear me, Sig says chat, literally comment in Sig's videos. What videos you want me to review? There's like a whole bank
Sure,
of
yeah,
videos
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, so if anyone heard that,
Yeah.
Six said comment in his chat what videos you want him to review, and he'll get to it in the year of our Lord 2035.
all I did with Adnan is it's funny. He actually noticed me with Jay, and then I
like
just told him
before?
straight.
Like,
Yeah, when I was on the ladder.
oh,
And
okay, okay.
again, it's interesting. Again, the tactic. It's like, oh, you're an evolutionist, so first go and correct J. Smith's young creationism or something. Like he'll quickly just like, oh, I'm not going to talk to you until you go and correct J. Smith's young. Like, what the heck does that got to do with?
Exactly. We could play that game forever. Those guys don't agree on anything.
It's really petty.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, look, Adam to Jesus, this whole resume thing, Quran, history, blah blah. And so I thought, and again, this is my naiveness speaking. I thought Adnan Rashid would be willing to systematically go Adam all the way down.
I think Chris can talk to that actually in regards to what Adnan Rashid will do.
And
the answer
we
is
just
save
talk on
face.
the Adam topic the whole time, right?
Yep.
I mean, we did get into the Moses and Pharaoh thing a little
Yep.
bit, right?
And he ran.
Which, ironically enough, he just ends it with, I just accept the Quran. I have no evidence. Literally, he's literally saying this on the video. I have no evidence for a tall Adam.
That deserves a where? Oh, good.
And you know the name, the identity of the Pharaoh drowning, all that stuff. But basically, I do forget how the evolution thing started.
I don't remember how it started, but I know certainly they were trying to posit that Darwin is racist.
Well, it doesn't do anything.
And Zabor. Okay, this is one of the funny one that happened.
Oh,
Zabor,
no, sorry. Well, this is okay, but I think it was just me saying it off the cuff that we know, and I use that phrase "we know," and then Adnan picks up on that.
Yep.
We know that humans come from South Africa 300,000
Yep.
years ago. The migration patterns, blah blah blah, and then boom, Zabor comes
Zabor
around,
comes in.
assuming to know all this knowledge about anthropology.
Right.
And I'm just repeating the model.
Right.
I'm not an anthropologist. I would love to bring Jeff Rose, by the way. But I'm just repeating the model. You know, anyone could, you know, repeat the reigning consensus right now of a certain model. And anyone worth a salt in that field would be like, yeah, Rob, yeah, okay, whatever. And then somehow that turned into... you know, racism.
Racism.
It I don't know, that is it's that bit that yeah.
When we
I'm
got there,
forgetting.
it was very interesting because for some reason Zabor kept looking at me and just saying the word "black man," and I'm like, okay, I mean, sure, thanks, but like the way you're saying it is a bit odd. And I think he said the word "black man" about 18 times, and you know what? Like you can say the word "black man," it's not racist inherently, but
He said blacks. He didn't say black man.
when you say the word black like 18 times, referring to the same person while you're pointing at them,
Yeah.
it's a bit like,
Business.
okay, chill. I mean, for example, if I kept saying the word like Pakistani, whoa, okay, chill. We heard the first
For
one.
context, I was there in the debate. Okay, there was a group of us. Okay, it was like there was melanated concentration in like the left-hand corner of the actual stream clip.
And Zabor's eyes couldn't be
Sabor,
fixed away.
Sabor couldn't differentiate between black people there and the rest, the sea of Caucasus that was there on the
Yeah,
other side.
yeah.
Every time he said blacks, I want you to understand. He didn't say black men. He said blacks. He said blacks. I said, Sabor, please.
We're not exaggerating. He literally
He
went
go blacks, and he would load up the beat as well with a close blacks like that. I'm thinking, wow, you need to
And
calm
everyone
down.
actually the
We
whole
all-
crowd
yeah.
saw it because everyone reacted like,
Whoa,
whoa.
like what do you
And
mean
then,
blacks?
I'm there. And you know I love to have these interactions. So instantly I flip it, bang, blacks. Oh, well, you know who sold two black people?
Yeah, there you go.
Muhammad. And then suddenly, after a while, we were chanting 2 for 1,
2 for 1,
2 for 1.
2 for 1.
Buy one, get one free.
In reference to the idea of Muhammad selling two black slaves for one. And then that's when my name literally can't but help but stick in his mouth. And he says Darwin, but actually says David. And again, I took advantage of that. And by the end of the conversation, I think he was quite subdued. If you will.
I think it's interesting. Maybe in hindsight, my patience and fervor, like a combination of the both of them, where they just needed to leave.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, it happens all the time.
How they had to go in 2 minutes, but they stayed for a further 20 to tell you the Bible was corrupt.
Yeah. That there's a naiveness on my part. Completely steered away from the Quran, but I kept stoking it. No, let's come back. I got a little bit out, right? The little bit out that I got, there's no evidence of what the Quran says.
What's coming is an emergency stream. Same thing happened with Chris. When Chris had that conversation about Quranic preservation and the presence of the Ahruf and the Qur'an with Adnan,
And I went on
What
streams.
happened?
He did an emergency stream.
Oh, right.
Where I can't remember, it was like 2 hours or so or something. And the next time at Speaker's Corner the next week, I came there and I was just so disappointed in him. I walked up to him and I just was like, Adnan, I saw that stream. Why did you do that? And like, you can see in the video, I'm just really disappointed with him. And he's trying to like come back at me because all these cameras come. And I'm just not having it.
And then Chris is doing the funniest thing ever. He just has a coffee in his hand. And he's just sort of drinking it casually. And just responding very coldly to Adnan.
Oh, God.
And it's making him angrier. And then Adnan starts calling him like a missionary and an X, Y, and Z. So
This is really important as well in terms of quotes, by the way.
Yep.
So labeling goes a lot into like doing apologetics and stuff, whereby you never want to legitimize the voice of your opponent for others to take them as true.
Right.
But you need to legitimize the voice of your opponent to see them as someone that should be taken as a threat. And this is very important. There's a very fine difference between the two. Because when you refer to a Christian as a missionary, you don't want to call them a scholar. But at the same time, missionaries are dangerous because they deceive people. So they need to be refuted, even though they're not worth refuting because they're not even scholars. So they need to play this weird game where they try to put you as someone that we should respond to, but at the same time put you as someone that no one ever has to respond to because Islam is superior.
the amount of poisoning the well that Adnan tried doing when talking to Rob was ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Can I ask, so both of you as, you know,
Yes, yes.
I know it's even natural for
Dark skin.
black to call themselves blacks.
Can I get
But
another mute
it's
button?
such
every
a-
time you say black? Mute.
So basically, so Bull was like, listen,
Okay,
so you see
yeah,
Darwin with you.
I'm not joking. When he did it, he had his hand on Adnan's shoulder. His leg one in front of the other.
He charged up.
Oh, wait. Come. Basically, could kind of like what was that? Special beam cannon.
Yeah, he just went like, so Darwin is I was like, okay, right, this is insane.
Final flash.
Final block.
I also know my Dragon Ball Z lore.
Please tell me that was on camera.
No, it was it was all on camera.
It
But
was
the thing is,
wow.
because he got in his red as well. Like he wasn't like, you know, like when you're in tennis and you have like a ready position and you're like ready to like receive and strike the ball. He like used, I don't know, it was like a spirit bomb thing where like he touched Adnan Rashid's glorious left shoulder and said, Adnan Rashid, lend me your racist energy. And went, I said, whoa, okay, listen, I'm not gonna say that you're racist, I just want to be clear. But when you say to the only people in that entire group that were black,
And you're pointing at him too.
and he said black, I said, whoa.
Because like everyone else couldn't recognize who was the. So you have to point at them.
And then he pointed at the people that were. I'm saying. Now, we weren't trying to be 2 for 1 for sales. We just have to make it really, really clear that we did buy our freedom in the Islamic Caliphate. That being said, though, I don't think he really understands what melanin was, because I do want to say, he called you white, correct? In the stream.
Yeah. And in the context that apparently I'm part of the
Colonial movement.
Yeah, and the suffering of the Aboriginal suffering that's happening.
Wow.
So I just want
Which
to
is
know.
like, you do realize that's very rude.
No, it's one. And number two, he actually can't tell the difference between what it means to be white and what it means to be a colonialist at the same time.
Yeah.
So he looked at your skin.
They're the same thing. Did you know that?
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, okay. It's just like when you're and then.
So the problem is obviously, so I asked you off camera because I didn't know, but I assumed. Right? So off camera, I asked you. So what is your ethnicity? And you broke it all down.
Yeah.
By the way, anytime someone has to break down their ethnicity, it can mean either one of two things: either you're white with okay, you're white with extra steps, or number two, you're not white. Okay. Now, in the context of what we're talking about, he thought that you were transatlantic slave trade, descending
Yeah.
people,
It's like, what
Aboriginals,
the heck? Where the heck did
British,
that come
British,
from?
yeah. And you're not.
But
It's
it,
just
all in the
written on your
context of
face.
apparently evolution as being at the forefront of that. But in fact, Zabor. Okay, so this is now my question to both of you. Did you actually hear me read loud and clear the review essay of Desmond and Moore's book Darwin's Sacred Cause
Yes.
by Joshua M. Moritz,
The tree.
a friend of mine, and I reviewed a draft of that, I didn't even correct him at the whole because he thought I wrote it. Anyway, it's Joshua M. Morris who wrote it, so he gets the credit. Anyway, at least I read it out. Now, was there anything in there that actually, surprised you, shocked you? Like, whoa, I didn't expect that much anti-racist, anti-slavery sentiments.
That actually did surprise me. I'm not gonna lie,
Okay.
because obviously socialization is something that I'm into. But in terms of Darwinistic theory, I'm like, yeah, when it comes to it, because obviously I didn't necessarily think that Darwin was racist, but I always thought that he was a product of his time, which was something that was probably going to be prejudiced to black people, if not racist to their particular communities as well. So hearing that is actually very, very surprising as well, given the fact that he did try to help abolitionist movements in this way.
That whole medallion, which then Adnan started boasting that apparently had collections of, Am I Not a Man and a Brother? The one that has a black man that's chained and it's got a slogan underneath. And apparently Adnan has copies of that.
Yeah,
Boom, I just mentioned, guess what? Darwin actually stamped that on his tax receipts as like a political statement because it's connected to his family line that had actually designed that.
Yeah.
And the whole reason why he went out, looking at those finches, the variations, is because he wanted to argue for a monogenesis. Yeah, we have a variation, black and white. And, with me, I'm that 25%. But that's the point. He's going against the scientific tide of his day because they held to a polygenesis model. Why? Old world monkeys, new world monkeys, in other words, they thought Adam and Eve were white.
And the children are ham.
Yeah.
And then Zabor just randomly gives me his phone, and there's a picture on it that shows two images of some kind of primate evolving, and then two images of a white person.
Yeah.
And the next one is two images of two kinds of primates, and then two images of an Asian person. And the last one is two images of two kinds of primates, and then two images of a black person. I'm like, what's this meant to mean? And then he kind of goes,
You know what this means.
What have you told me?
You know exactly what it means, boy. You know exactly what it means. You know exactly what it means, boy.
So,
wait, actually,
That's why I
so
showed you the picture of the monkey.
in conclusion, Zabor surprised me
Definitely.
when, in a good way, in the sense that I couldn't believe it. They were like, Rob's correct.
Yeah.
Which is exactly the argument I was making, because earlier in the discussion, they're like, no,
Darwin's completely racist, yeah.
They didn't even bring up the whole polygenesis, monogenesis terms. When I mentioned that, he actually started going, the consensus in anthropology is there's a monogenesis origin of humans, therefore...
I believe I heard him say something to the effect of, despite the monogenesis model,
and
he's
then
still
to
racist.
still die on that hill...
But that's the thing.
Despite the monogenesis model, as Rob has just clearly laid out,
This is part of the conversation, the argument. No offense to human beings, no offense to people. Most people don't know how to read.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Most people don't know how to read.
Come to the corner.
When you go to the corner, I remember people. You and this Rayhan guy, you have beef.
I love you.
I actually like Rayhan, okay? I
like him too.
No, he does.
But he's stupid. I like him, but he's stupid.
That being said, right, we have people that actually cannot read. And
If you want, next time you see Rayhan, ask him to read you the fathers. Ask him to read you the fathers, and then we'll see.
he's gonna.
Then we'll see. Ask him.
I talk about Shiraz.
No. Rayhan's is a lovely boy.
He's a unique guy.
who needs to take fasting more seriously.
I want Shiraz to give a speech at the UN.
Suraj, yeah.
You know,
that'd
he's
be
like that. You know the Somalian guy
Anyway.
meme that was like a Black lives, Muslim lives, Black lives, Muslim lives. Like if you guys can find that clip where it's like
As
this.
you can see, you are all hypocrites. You are all disingenuous. You see him? He's a liar. He smokes weed. Okay, all right, cool.
He said because you have dreads and because you're black, you bunzies. It makes sense, bro.
Siraj is lucky he's one of those. Oh, because if he wasn't.
Have you seen that meme? Ugh. It's the one of the. Have you seen the black guy that gets pulled over, and the police officer comes up, and the guy's like, "Why did you pull me over?"
Yeah.
And he just looks at him and he says, "It's because you're black." And have you seen that? Sorry. It's just.
I've seen so many of those police pull over videos as well, where it's like one of them is like they record him, and the policeman's like, your friend is like your friend has been stopped because he was driving on a road, and like everyone starts laughing because like, he's silly man. But yeah, no. Shout out to London Met Police. Shout out to I don't know, just shout out to the police in general. Just like. Anyways, like-
Oh wait, did you see Suraj going around he kept telling like all the Dawa guys, "Why are you debating people?" Like,
Yeah, he was doing that.
He
Speaking of
did it to
debating
Ali
people.
Dawa. Oh, because I had a quick
Can
thing.
you
with
open the group chat, please?
Sorry?
Speaking of debating people, open up the group chat.
Yeah.
I was going to review this on stream. I am going to review this on stream, but there is something important that you guys should know. Is this okay if I talk about this?
They can't see it, so
Oh, yeah. This
So
one's
can
interesting.
we can pull that up.
Breaking news. We have information straight from Ira that tells us the thoughts of a one Adnan Rashid.
So if we can actually pull this up on the big
Oh,
screen.
well,
If we
yeah.
go on what's
Okay,
on the
hold on.
images.
Let me-
Go on intro screen. Go
Let
on
me do
intro
some
screen.
magic. Let me do some magic.
Yeah, you do, David.
Yeah.
You're better at this stuff.
Let me do some magic.
Yeah.
Right.
I-
We're gonna go on
Keep
intermission.
the
guys.
music going. There we go. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what we potentially have for you is top secret information that our Dawagandis friends don't want you to see. Tune in at late night for the exclusive release of some information that's going to blow your mind. You thought Islam was on the rise, but actually internally there's some turmoil. They don't seem to share the same sentiment, but more will be explained in a short period of time. In the meantime, stay safe, keep it booging, and read your Bible. Recently, I was reading the Gospel of Matthew 11:27, and I found something very interesting. Even before we get to Matthew 24, 36, where Christ claims that none knows the hour. In Matthew 11:27, he claims that everything the Father knows, he knows, and that no one knows the Father but the Son, and no one knows the Son but the Father. So get this. Let's say he does know all things the Father knows, including the Father himself. That would mean that he knows the hour way before we ever get to Matthew 24:36. So the Muslims are indeed cooked. All right, so what we have for you people is some very interesting breaking news that just... Wait, can I... Hold up.
You gotta get off full screen mode on the thing, right?
Do I want to... I
Are there
want
any of the
to have
images?
this, but can I just... Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do?
You can crop it. You can crop it.
No, I'm going to something better. I'm going to something better. Hold on. One second.
Oh, okay, yeah, clever.
Just in case...
This is worth it, by the way, guys. I can tell you, it is.
You know when Trump's tax returns were supposed to be released.
These are tax returns.
And
These
then,
are actual
and
tax
then
returns.
finally it was released.
Open that one. The Dan McClown one. He's gonna make a cameo on Chris's speakers.
And then
Oh
finally-
yeah.
Wait, why is this happening? So
What do you
Because it's
get?
full screen, you need to
A
get out.
notion of
That's
a
it.
God.
Okay.
you go.
It's like full screen.
Full, super
So
full.
eventually, when the tax returns were released, I think her name was it Nancy Pelosi. I could be wrong.
Oh, Rachel Maddow?
Was it her? Okay.
The woman who used to like big it up on the news.
Yes.
And then she read it out loud, and it turns out he paid taxes. and
It
was like, oh.
was beyond
So
underwhelming.
this is something very important in terms of what we're seeing on the screen now.
If we're
We
actually
haven't-
showing the screen, hold on a second. I'm doing.
Yeah, minimize
this.
that, and then you can
Yeah.
maximize that if you want.
Can
We'll
I
bring it- yeah.
I think if I maximize it, it'll only like show up on part of the screen, not the whole thing. Okay, I like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
All right,
That's all right.
That's
So-
why you never listen to David. Okay, hold on. Before we do that, we got some more stuff to do. This is gonna be amazing watching this back and just seeing me fumble all the way through this. All right, finally.
Okay, so guys,
There we go. there we go.
basically, okay, if you don't know,
This is real.
so if you number one, fully real, fully legit, and Adnan Rashid, by the way, he's going to cope around this by saying that we are lying. Just to bear in mind. Now, a Christian person who used to be a Muslim attended a conference a couple months ago that was given in private called the IERA. It was publicly publicized, but it wasn't fully recorded. Some things were said off camera. Now, this Muslim in the Arise and Warn conference explained certain things about Christian missionaries. So these are the notes that this ex-Muslim took from the conference of statements that Adnan Rashid said off camera
March 8th.
in March 8th. So this is the sort of mind that Dawagandists have. I'm going to read it out to you. It's going to be crazy. Get the deep boom sound. ready.
All right, man.
Wait. Just one quick thing before. I've actually checked this and I've verified that, yes, there was an IAERA conference called Horizon One on March 8th. So, yeah, this seems legit.
Yeah. Now, it says, we are losing the war.
Vor.
That we are losing the war against Christian missionaries.
Good job with the R.
Thousands of Muslims are converting to Christianity around the world. Christians are better equipped and funded and powerfully sharing their message. Our people are not so willing to share Islam. Also, Muslims are all funding, and this is in air quotes, and this is really important, Palestine causes, but are not massively funding dawah. We are struggling.
Wow.
Adnan Rashid. Now, to break down every part of this here, I'm going to let you guys go away with your thoughts, but I just want to give a little thought here. Number one, he says that Christians are better equipped. How did we get here, guys? Just do this little recording. How did we get here?
God's grace.
God's grace.
The Jews pay. Oh,
No. You can't say there was
technical
pharmacy
difficulties.
Basically, the Pope's finance to every, and that's how we afford to. Yes.
Joseph the.
Basically was promised. And so that was
Netanyahu. Okay.
So we're not number one, we're not better equipped and we don't have any money. All of this is our own work. If you guys want to help, great. Go to his Buy Me a Coffee. Help support him. Go to his membership only channel. You're going to got a bunch of great stuff there. Ignore me. My point being, we don't have funding for the things that we do. We literally go ourselves, try our best to just make ends meet where we can.
It's as simple as this. How often do you see Christians with gazebos with customized banners on it?
Yep.
Where do you think we get the money for that?
And-
How are we able to pay? We're not able to pay 17-year-old boys £20 an hour to help film Dawah for 4 hours.
And young boy.
I was wondering where that was going there. Is this a Paul Williams thing? Sorry,
We're not able to spend 17.
Give your thoughts, Rob.
I'll
please.
even. It's a good point because I'll even share this. Literally just like a foresight, insight sort of thing, like a self-reflection thing. I remember when I first started this whole thing back in like 20. Everyone knows my testimony, 2010 onwards.
Yeah. Amen.
For some reason, I had this tug, even as an atheist, obviously as a Christian, even more so, to collect what I was. Because I had ironically, the means through my university. You know, you have actual free access to all this stuff. Collect it, store it, put it away. Maybe it'll be of some use. I can give it. And as you guys know, I just share the link, right? Obviously within a certain, means of who you can trust with it. But there you go. Like as Christians together, we're just supporting each other and just and all those years ago, that hard work.
It's paying off.
Yeah, it's paying off.
Nice. Well, that was really good.
We're better for. Who are we? Is that what that is? Huh? Okay, interesting.
Well, what's going on?
Just to prove to everybody that we are not, as the people of sixth generation will say, capping when we are speaking about this rise and warn that apparently took place around the same time as what is being prescribed as March 8th. can actually show you that there was indeed an event with the handsome man's face on it. And that event would be categorized right here. If I was to go here and I said the following, which would be AIRA, which is, by the way, is the very organization
He does
that
this
might
he does
be,
this conference every single year.
responsible for the disappearance of the one Sheikh Mohammed. If I go to the
One
AIRA,
Sheikh Mohammed.
Yeah, Horizon One, and then go 2025.
Yeah.
So Horizon One 2025.
So it would appear.
So there was a conference that happened in March, not in March, in
I think it was
February.
March, wasn't it?
So
February, and then they just had one in the 23rd of May. Now all they do is they go around, and bear in mind this is his team. This is his team.
the way of Abraham, Selah.
Yeah. Unwavering commitment, called Khalilullah, the friend of Allah. Ibrahim's unwavering commitment to truth. Now, this one isn't Horizon One. This one is Ayra, the way
Yeah,
of
it's
Ibrahim.
a different one.
Okay, so basically, in that case, then let me show you.
I found it before, so I know it's a thing.
You see the Christians. The Christians are liars. They are
They're
drugs. Okay.
Scroll up.
The Christians are liars. They are on drugs. Okay, so this was for
Yeah, this is the one I saw. This is
Ramadan, and they
Yeah.
have Aira. Ooh, okay. Now,
Sabor's there as well.
now everything links up. Okay, so I'm still following the Sheikh Mohammed. We love you, and we hope you're okay.
We hope you're all right,
I hope to come to Christ. Sheikh Mohammed, in the expose on the Behind the Veil channel, said that Mohammed Hijab went to the leader of Aira, Zabor, and told him things about Sheikh Mohammed or exposed things about Sheikh Mohammed that have basically caused them to break ties. And for whatever reason, I don't know if they were paying him or funding him, that breaking of ties between him and Aira has actually caused him to go into a state of not eating and then eventually being hospitalized.
Oh man.
So when he says Zabor, I only know one Zabor. And now that he's there, I'm sure it's him.
Yeah, he transferred. So the thing is Sabor was one of the main ones at Sapiens. So Sapiens. So if you go on Google now and you search up Sapiens Institute. By the way, shameless plug for all the Muslims. By the way, it's cool. So Sapiens Institute is Muhammad. Yeah, go down Sapiens. Now the reason why he chose Sapiens is because of the whole idea of monkeys and stuff, and also the fact that they're
Wait,
like
what?
yeah, like
Look,
Homo sapiens.
it's Leonidas himself.
Leonidas, right? Now, Hamza has made himself. So, Hamza is the creator and owner of the company, along with Muhammad Hijab. Hamza handles the business side, whereas Muhammad is the face of the company. Hamza Sources had an issue with Muhammad, I believe a year ago, where on Twitter he publicly cut ties with Muhammad Hijab. And so he now made himself the face of the company. Problem is, as you can see there's no Ustad next to his name. He's purely a businessman. That said, Muhammad Hijab actually had his books promoted here. This is where he got Jake the Muslim on these things as well, directly under his payroll. But more importantly, Sabor Ahmed.
So slight backstory. When Jake came in
On
the
Intelligent
bulb
Design.
a couple of years ago, he was here because of these guys.
Yeah.
Right.
This was when they were pushing Jake's stuff, and now they've sort of cut ties and sort of slowly moved away from Jake. And shout out to Jake, he's been really consistent in what he wants, which is I want to be the Athery guy that tells everyone else that they're wrong. Shout out to
He's been
him.
very consistent about that.
Now, that being said, Muhammad Hijab, so Sapiens Institute, as well as Ayera, as well as Sheikh Asrar Rashid stuff.
Make mine in the car.
Everyone was doing. The point is everyone's doing well. Everyone is working together and doing stuff, and it's all in the name of business. Because, really importantly, there was no reason to fight until Christians realized that they all have different denominational differences. And as denominations do, if there's no deep sense of love between the actual people as brothers, you can't work together. And so Sabor, who wanted to be a leader in his own right, wanted to go and do stuff, but he was always seen as sort of playing second fiddle to Muhammad Hijab. He was one of Muhammad Hijab's orbiters for some years, and he wanted to be his own thing. Shout out to him. Couldn't do it. So when Sheikh Mohammed Tarawna went and started telling people X, Y, and Z was happening, Then Sabor stepped in and tried to sort of quiet the situation down. Hijab got furious. Sabor and Hijab are no longer friends. Sabor gets kicked off of Sapiens
Well,
over a year ago. He gets kicked off of Sapiens. Now, if you go back, just go literally just the back screen, there's an image that will come up on YouTube, right?
Technical difficulties are experienced. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, scroll down.
Down or just
Yeah, that one, yeah, that's fine. Go right, up. That one.
right.
That is years ago.
When his hairline wasn't yet completely receding.
So as you can see, that is him on Sapiens. But now he went to Ayera because Asrar and Muhammad also don't get along.
Right.
Sapiens took his dignity, his livelihood, and his hairline.
Because it happened that Muhammad Hijab became the face of the entire company. And so basically, the company just became Muhammad Hijab.
Right.
Muhammad Hijab is one of these things, like he's like a big whale. So anytime he gets involved in a company or a project, it just becomes his project.
Yeah.
So everyone else in the group loses their identity. But Hamza, who's really, really smart, an intelligent guy, by the way, Hamza, he's financially intelligent and realized that Muhammad Hijab, for like 3 or so years, is a good asset. After that, he's a liability.
Right.
So either you keep him on a leash, which he won't allow you to, or you basically slowly disassociate from him until you can fully cut ties.
I think maybe the breaking point, actually, the last time I saw them together was when he went to South Africa to have that debate with the two atheists.
Yeah.
And Muhammad Hijab was being an absolute menace in that debate.
Yeah.
He was debating worse than you do in Speaker's Corner in a university lecture room. And I think the whole time Hamza was kind of looking at him and just thinking.
He was like, this is bad for the brand.
Even one time, Hijab was about to, the atheists were reading out a set of premises. And Hijab started off doing this on his chair.
What?
Yep,
And
yep.
he's holding him back.
Yep. And then Hamza had to hold him like this. And then they turned that section
Into a clip.
into a short.
Yeah.
Is that?
Whoa.
Can you find that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'll
Wait.
look for it.
Him doing that will be great meme material for like
Yeah.
any time he does something.
He just like spazzes out.
Yeah.
No, it's there. But the point is Hamza Sources wanted to take the company of Institute into a real publication website. Into a real publication. Yeah, this is, that's the one.
So
Or
okay.
And then look. That guy drops his head, he starts laughing. And look. He overreacts now. Yeah. And then look, see, and he's holding his head.
I think that was potentially one of the last times they were together in South Africa.
The thing is, Muhammad Hijab is like a behemoth onto himself. He's so big and intelligent that he can't actually stop. And so all the other Muslims want to like work together because the more Muslim companies you have, the harder it is to like shut them down, right? If you have like one with this big of a audience, one with this big, taking down this company doesn't take down this other company. But with Muhammad Hijab, what he does is, because he infects and touches everywhere, just taking down Muhammad Hijab leaves everyone scattering. And Hamza realized this early, so he had to cut him out.
And that was your report of Dawanomics with our correspondent Sig. Thank you so much for telling us about the illicit behavior of these Dawagandis, how they launder money through their multiple businesses, and how
I
they
never said money
ultimately
laundering.
are cannibalizing themselves by constantly making companies, trying to get together, and ultimately leaving and disassociating because they're all greedy and don't have the Holy Spirit.
except they have some emus.
Oh yeah, they have those. So then,
that said,
we were talking about Adnan Rashid, and they got to a very interesting point in the conversation. So Rob brings up one of his preferred topics, the idea of if we remove the Bible, what can we reconstruct from Quranic data?
Yep.
Exactly how, for example, with the idea of the Pharaoh and Jibril kicking mud into his mouth.
Right.
Who is that Pharaoh? Jude has who was in the fire, but Rob really likes who was that Pharaoh.
Yep.
And Rob, how does
Go,
it
take it away, man.
Basically, what else is to say?
Well, you brought up the point, and immediately all Adnan Rashid could do was to poison the well. Egyptologists don't know what they're talking about.
The Egyptologists don't know what they're talking about.
There is no consensus.
Like he tried. Okay, this was quite telling.
Yep.
So he tried to bring up the issue of the fact that Egyptologists have different chronological markers. So is there a way I could actually give an example of that on Google?
It depends. What do you want to look up?
Just type in Ramses.
Okay.
Ramses II, just his name, for example.
Ozymandias.
Yeah. But I want to show like just a simple. Okay, now click on his wiki link.
Yep.
Okay, scroll down.
Am I looking for a particular word?
Wait. Yep. Zoom in more. Yep. Now scroll way up.
Okay.
Like sorry, just now. Yep. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. Okay. Now, do you see the 7 footnote there?
Yeah.
Just rest your mouse on it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they didn't. Okay. Click on Thutmose III on the left in the blue.
Yep.
Just click on
Yep.
that and just see if this will bring it up instead.
Hover over 3 or
Scroll down.
we're finding something for you guys. It'll be juicy, trust me.
Okay. Now move, shift it to, okay. Now notice LC there.
Okay, 1 second. Let me share this then with the chat. I was just sort of getting it up and now I'll share it. Okay,
All right.
LC.
Okay. Do you see reign?
Yep.
1479 to 1425 BC. LC.
Mm-hmm.
LC is what is designated as low chronology.
Mm-hmm.
So there is this thing called low, high, middle, because they're trying to calibrate with respect to other phenomena, whether it's literally even just the the geographical changes, maybe circumstantial context with respect to wars that Egypt is engaging in, so other cultures sort of like record the war. Oh yeah, we fought this pharaoh, blah blah blah, this time, and so you're sort of comparing notes. You're looking at So what's consensus for in this case, Thutmose III, is that particular chronological marker.
Mm-hmm.
But other pharaohs may not have an LC designation. Doesn't mean it's wrong.
Right.
It's just, again, you have timeline, pharaohs on this timeline, and then kind of like imagine like a sliding rule based on new evidence. They'll, we can slide them a little bit this and this a bit that. Now, what Adnan it just shows he just doesn't know the topic.
Or anything really.
Or anything really.
So I try to bring up patterns of evidence of the documentary as an example to try and communicate to him why you just don't understand this. Patterns of evidence obviously wants to argue for Amenhotep II as the pharaoh of the Exodus, which is you're pushing 1446 BC is the date for the Exodus. And in order to do that, you have to, and this is a minority position, but you'll have to literally do some pretty radical changes. In other words, instead of an LC rating here, you'd have to do like a HC rating. You'd have to literally fudge all the Egypt data to fit what you assume the Bible is saying with, in other words, you're taking symbolic value numbers like First Kings 6:1, 480 years there is not symbolic but literal, and you have to then.
Could you touch on like
Touch
how
it?
to know when to take something literal and how to take something?
Yeah. So the 480, for example, in the First Kings verse is basically 12 times 40, right? It's again, it's just again unanimous in the scholarship to say, yeah, that figure there is symbolic. There's another figure in Judges that speaks about 300 years on the lips of a pretty evil dude, and ironically, those who hold to a 1446 date believe that guy, and really we shouldn't. Anyway, when we're dealing with numbers in the Bible, there are specialists who are careful to, and they're evangelical, and they're careful to say, be careful.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, the Egyptians themselves are not, there's no like conspiracy by the Egyptians to like try and circumvent the Bible's chronology. They're doing their own thing legitimately. Right? Okay. So if a pharaoh were to be shifted, or a timeline or a dynasty were to be shifted, it's not like the pharaoh is just like hovering over this thing that's sliding away and like, oh, now where do I go? No, he slides with it. That's the point. So now notice, if a whole from 18th to 19th dynasty slide is shifted, guess what? All the pharaohs in that period slide together, but are still anchored where they are. Guess what, Adnan? You're still stuck because it's still between Amenhotep II and Meneptah, and Ramses II is in the middle of that range. You're still stuck with those pharaohs as the candidates for the Exodus. None of them drowned. That's the point. So, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, but Rob, there isn't consensus on this because not every single Egyptologist has the exact same opinion. Therefore, Egyptologists...
That's a very specific 28th April to 11th March. Is very specific.
Rob, it's a speculative
really
field.
Specific.
It's a specific. It's a speculation. Okay, no one knows what they're talking about. Okay, the Quran's from God. Now, say repeat after me. Ashadu.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, Thutmose III is in. He is one of the candidates of the pharaoh. So when
Robert, do all scholars agree
Every
on
single
this?
one. Every single one.
Every single one without fail.
Including Adnan.
look at what it's saying here. I know you're just following along, but I'm being. This is me having an OCD moment. According to low chronology, this has been the conventional Egyptian chronology in academic circles since the 1960s. Though in some circles, the older dates 1504. Notice, you're shifting from 1479 back, which means you have to then shift that same amount from 1425 to 1450. Right?
This is all well and good, Robert, but can you show me this in ancient Egyptian?
Do you even know ancient Egyptian, Rob? Do you speak it fluently? Is it your native language?
My emu does.
And if it isn't, then you were colonialist. Did you take over Egypt at some point? I don't know, man. You sound
These
sus.
dates,
I
just
think
as
you might be
all the
racist.
dates of the 18th dynasty, are open to dispute because of uncertainty about the circumstances surrounding the recording of that helical rise of Sothis in the reign of Amenhotep I. But then a papyrus from Amenhotep I's reign records this astronomical observation, which theoretically could be used to notice this perfectly correlate the Egyptian chronology with the modern calendar. Yeah. Anyway, but this is a known thing, and this is like primary school for Egyptologists. It's so basic. It's
Major last thing that Adnan brought up was that run away from this because this is too complicated for me. I'm not going to even touch this. We all know that we cannot use the Bible to give us an indication of when that dating is because the Bible is corrupted. And it's corrupted because, for example, the Quran corrects the Bible by using the correct terminology for the ruler of Egypt in the time of Moses and the correct terminology for the ruler in the time of Joseph because of the Hyksos dynasty. The Bible, however, calls the ruler of Egypt in the time of Joseph
both king and pharaoh.
Well, as a Muslim, only Pharaoh.
No, it actually has Malak there, king.
It does.
Yeah.
Genesis 42, verse ayah 1.
Yeah.
It literally says the king of Egypt.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Now, just for the sake, because Adnan thought that I was giving him ammunition when I mentioned anachronism, which is fine.
yeah.
Open Bible Gateway or some Bible or something if you can.
I mean, the Quran itself uses anachronisms. They describe Joseph being sold for dinar. Did dinar exist?
That's because they brought it in, just for that occasion.
All right. Now, wait.
By the way, we should
click.
think about winding this down at some point.
Okay.
Just saying.
This is just one.
This will be the last
This
thing.
will be the last thing.
And then we shall fly because we have things to do.
Yeah. Rob has to go somewhere tomorrow.
Back to the land of the emu.
I have to go.
Yeah. The emus are calling.
I don't have to go anywhere. I just have to feed my emu.
Okay.
Okay.
What are we looking for? Zooming. Okay.
Zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Okay, now.
this the Pharaoh King stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
You know what? Sorry.
I think it's definitely Genesis 42.
I just
Okay.
don't like the
Oh,
NIV
because Niv is
because
butchering, is it?
I prefer my emu version.
Look at you. You have so many Bibles.
ESV, Emu Standard Version.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I feel comfortable.
Well, please change your YouTube thumbnail to just an emu for a while. That made me really happy.
It can be an AI generated email if you'd like.
All right. Now
Classes in session.
read verse 11.
It says Joseph settled his father and brothers, assigning them their own land in the best part of Egypt, in brackets, in the territory of Ramses, just as Pharaoh had ordered. Joseph provided food for his father, his brothers, and all his father's household, proportionate to the number of their young children.
What the heck is Ramses? Like even a territory named after Ramses doing at the time of
That's
Joseph.
just corruption, Rob. Like that's just corruption, clearly.
But what would a Jew say who wrote Genesis?
Well, like I don't know, Moses or something.
And when was Moses writing this?
I guess like in the time when the territory was called the territory of Ramses.
Yeah,
I
which would be
guess?
the 1200s, right?
Which would make sense if you were speaking to people who were just slaves who
Yeah,
don't know
which
the
then
ancient name.
clarifies precisely that it is Ramses, which means he dies in 1213. But the Exodus happened between 1270 and 1250, which means he didn't drown. The Bible is debunking the Qur'an with this ironic anachronism. Hello, it's not like he's writing in the territory of Amenhotep, for example.
So is this anachronism? The fact that later on, obviously, later on we have people editing clearly the story of Genesis, but they're talking to their own contemporary audience, right? And when they talk about Egypt, obviously you want a location for Egypt, and they call it the territory of Ramses.
Yeah.
It's like me saying, well, I went to David's house.
I think a great example is when people say Jesus was a Palestinian Jew. In his time, it wasn't called Palestine.
No, it wasn't.
Even the Quran confirms this.
Yeah.
So,
Judges 18:29. All right. Let me just.
Yeah,
This
let's
is
call
just
Dan
going to
for
be
the
2 more
Danites,
minutes
yeah.
with the anachronism thing to show how the Bible actually, ironically, defends itself as to why it uses anachronisms. So let's go earlier in Genesis 14. All right. Notice these kings, by the way, have all these peculiar non-Hebrew terms. They're Mesopotamians. Okay, there's the clear sign this is Akkadian borrowings, all right? Now, you have this pursuit. Abram in this context pursues them as far as Dan in verse 14.
But that's not called Dan at the time. It's called Laish.
Yes. Now, let's actually go now to Judges 18.
Tech whizzes over here, guys.
Yeah.
speeding through it.
This is why it takes us so long.
All
We have so much funding that we
All
have
right,
people
Dave.
to whiz through.
Read for us, Dave.
What were we reading?
Verse 29.
29 says, they renamed the city Dan after the name of their ancestor, Dan, who had been born in Israel.
Sorry.
The former name of the city was Lish.
Oh.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. They literally went back into Genesis
Alhamdulillah.
Change the name to Laish.
Yeah.
to make it make sense to people. It makes more sense to read it. 'Cause, like,
Jesus
imagine
was
if I-
a Palestinian Jew.
If I say, for example, hey, like we've been talking about Jerome a lot. If I say Saint Jerome was born in Dalmatia, you guys would have no idea what that means.
What do I mean?
He was born in modern day Croatia.
Oh, I know Croatia.
Basically. that.
Dalmati? What? Never heard of it.
But like if I say, for example, like as a Hebrew Israelite, like the Hebrews, were in Egypt. You'd be like, what's Egypt? Oh, America. Yeah, they think when they were taken by ships, they were taken back to Egypt.
Yeah.
Think about it, right? They use the curses of Deuteronomy 28 and they say, well, these curses apply to the spirit of the black people. So the black people were physically taken by real ships. So the people were taken by real ships and they were taken back in ships into slavery. And they say there's no other group of people have done it, only black people have. Cool. But the particular curse doesn't just say you'll be taken by ships into slavery. It says you'll be taken by ships into slavery back to Egypt, where you were once slaves. So that means black people, the Israelites, you're saying you were slaves in Nigeria. You were slaves in America. Well, you are slaves in Nigeria. You were slaves in America, and then you were freed. And then when the transatlantic slave trade happened again, you were enslaved again. So could you show me a time before the time of Christ where an entire group of black people somehow found in America and they were all enslaved there?
Yeah.
Black. So show me a group of black people where they were able to be enslaved there. And then I'll agree with it. I'll be a black Hebrew as well. So I don't really understand why being a black has anything to do with, being a slave that was just so happened to be in America that was black. I don't know. It just but yeah. Anyways, so
And all at the same time. There we go.
One for Zabor. Little
anyways,
little
so
hater.
Oh, actually, I wanted to say that real quick. Zabor, he was facing allegations of racism himself. Like, seriously, do you guys know this? So
Please
actually,
do tell.
do
Wow,
you
really?
do you watch the atheist guy? I think he's called like Science Dave or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he actually did a video thing where he was apparently there's a video of Zabor. No. Actually, wait. Sorry, no. Zabor during the debate with him.
Oh, Professor Dave.
Professor Dave. Yeah.
Yeah.
He started saying there's a term for I think it's Indians or something that's very derogative, and he started referring to Dave because he's got like ancestry there or something as this term.
I think he could be. Is he Greek?
Oh, actually, I don't know. It was something
Okay.
like actually maybe it hadn't to do anything to do, but basically he was using a really insensitive word that many Indians would interpret as being derogative, and he was like, why was he doing that? It's just like a weird racial slur, and yeah, I don't know. Zabor was being racist.
Oh, and just quickly to conclude on that roundabout thing about, what I was wanting to say is, notice how they just completely red herringed and deviated from anything about the Quran, discussing the Quran. That's because remember Adnan started the discussion. Ask me any question. And
It
we can
makes
go
them
through
uncomfortable.
all
About
of
the
it. We can go
Quran.
through all about the Quran specifically.
It makes him uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He's like ChatGPT that doesn't know like certain topics. Like, you know how he like doesn't know anything for like was it like recent?
Yes.
So he's like he doesn't know anything about the Quran. He's like
No.
ChatGPT but no Quran.
Yep. Yep.
I think it's because if you put the Quran under scrutiny, then you sort of lessen the fact that it's divinely inspired and revealed.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you start like picking apart things, you're like, well, you're not treating the text as revered, as divinely inspired.
You know, like 2 years ago when you only had like the Chat GPT version 3, and then you that's it. What is the date? It's like, sorry, I don't have access to live information currently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it does.
No, now it does, but 2 years ago it didn't. Adnan Rashid is the 2-year-old or the year 2. No, that's still wrong. It's ChatGPT from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But
Anyway, we
It's-
should wrap this up.
we should
now.
wrap
Yes.
this up.
Really should wrap
Ladies
this
and
up.
gentlemen, it's very early in the morning.
Yeah.
We have things to do, places to go, emus to feed.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pleasure. I had so much fun this week. I can't wait to do it again next time.
Yeah.
Rob, you're gonna be here next time.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you to debate Hashim and Zabor and oh, actually we can go full screen. Actually,
Yeah, do full screen ones.
I will start again.
Yeah.
Let me do it again. Okay, next time.
Emus to feed, don't forget.
We need to get we need to feed emus. Now, next time we need to get Rob here. We need to get Ananda here. We need to get Paul here. We need to get IP here. God Logic 2, if he'll pick up his phone. And AP even next time. And then we can potentially do a whole thing where we go up against you guys. Come up, share your objections. Tell me why Daniel 2 and 7 is about Islam and not Christianity. And then we can go from there. But gentlemen, any last words?
emus.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done. Yeah.
I got it.
Chipmunk moment.
What?
Chipmunk.
What?
Oh, excellent. Now, wait, am I?
It's only me that.
Am I a chipmunk?
It's only his
I
mic.
guess just give it to
Oh
Rob.
wow! So I have too much testosterone.
And we're proud of that.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Ah.
You can hear it, right?
Yeah, I can.
Why does Rob sound even more Australian as a chipmunk than he does as a regular?
Where's that bloody email?
Crikey.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching the content. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe to all the channels, and we'll see you guys next time.
God bless you.
God bless.
All right. God bless.